Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
And welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy, wild edition of Crime and Sports. Hope you enjoyed last week with the updates and, of course, the Nutsack Nibbler. Last week was the most crime we've ever had in an episode because it was just all crime.
Wall to wall.
Updates of crime. So if you missed that, if you were like, oh, updates, what are you doing? Go back and listen to Sonny getting arrested like 6 times, Mayhem Miller. Ben Cousins had an amount of meth up his ass that you'll never guess. You'll never guess how much it was. And when you hear it, you'll be impressed, actually. Yeah. You won't even go gross. You'll go, wow, I'm impressed. That's a lot.
That's asshole. Yeah.
So check that out. Quickly, if just some house cleaning here at the top of the show, thank you for your reviews. They help a lot. They do. So whatever platform you're listening on, 5 stars is the most appreciated. Thank you for that. An immense amount. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com whenever you can. Immediately would be good, or after the show, when you get around to it. Get your tickets for live shows. We are going to be doing Small Town Murder. We're in Pittsburgh on the 8th of April and Columbus, Ohio on the 9th of
Next
April.
Weekend. Yeah.
Still some tickets left for that. And then there's a couple months, I think, where there's like no tickets available because we're sold out. And so get your tickets right now. And Crime and Sports, there is one date with tickets available. It is in August in Sacramento at the Ace of Spades. Get your tickets now, please. And thank you. So do that. Patreon this week. Oh, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun one this week. It's going to be crazy. Patreon.com/crime and sports. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing a lot, we'll say. Yeah. You get access to the Crime and Sports bonus episodes, the Small Town Murder bonus episodes, the whole back catalog, everything like that. You even get a shout out at the end of the show where your name gets mispronounced. It's a value bargain. And this week, the episodes you are going to receive are, for Crime and Sports, in honor of April Fool's Day, we are going to do probably the best sports hoax in the history of sports here. And we love tricks, people playing tricks.
Oh, yeah.
They put it out. It's a story of Sid Finch. And if you don't know this story, it's the story where they put out in Sports Illustrated that they found this person like in the mountains somewhere that could throw 120 miles an hour, and the Mets have signed him, and the Mets played along, and the guy took pictures with Mel Stottlemyre and Lenny Dykstra and all this shit, and it's crazy, and they made the whole thing up, and it was this big hoax that Mets fans believed, and it was hilarious, and I'll tell you all about it. It's like The Scout with Brendan Fraser, except what that's kind of based on.
How desperate are Mets fans to win?
That's what I mean. We got him.
We got him?
We got the guy.
We landed him.
They gave him a jersey and everything. It's crazy. It's a great story. And then for Small Town Murder, very disturbing, Diane Downs. Do you know who she is? You remember her?
Why do I know that name?
Because she shot her kids and then made up a very elaborate story and went on every goddamn television show there was and told this story in a horrifyingly upbeat manner that is just the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. We're going to talk about it. She's on an episode of Oprah back in the day where she's arguing with true crime writer Ann Rule, saying that the book's inaccurate and she's totally innocent, and it's crazy. This woman is off the charts insane. Psychopath, sociopath, all the paths. She's got them all.
Is she from Texas?
Wild. We'll talk about the whole thing there. Right. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You'll get it all this week and the shout out.
Boy.
Thank you so much. And if you just want the shout out, head over to PayPal. Use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. let's get into this, Jimmy. A lot of show.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it with and we can say this with confidence this week, our scumbag of the week, because this guy, wow, is this a bad guy? I mean, it gets worse. It gets progressively worse, and then the last thing, you're just like, wow, this guy is just unbelievable scum. Dana Stubblefield, remember him?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Dana William Stubblefield here. Dana was born November 14th, 1970. He's from Ohio. It's Cleves, so it could be Clevis, it could be Cleves, it could be Clevis, it could be anything. And I'm not going to take a guess because I don't really give a shit. So
he's so big.
He's huge. When he plays, he's 6'2", 290, sometimes up to 300 pounds. So big old defensive tackle here.
Yeah.
And he plays at Taylor High in North Bend, Ohio, is where he starts out. And he is like a beast on the field. I mean, he's a gigantic human being.
He really is.
We'll talk a little later about how he got quite so gigantic. But even in high school, he's this big, giant guy. I found an article in high school here from 1987, which is, I mean, he's like a sophomore this year, where he rushed the ball 7 times for 94 yards and had a touchdown, and also had 11 tackles on defense.
He averaged like 14 yards a carry.
Yeah, and then made 11 tackles on defense, too. He's just dominating the field.
Wow.
So that's the kind of giant guy he is. He's also a wrestler in high school, I found out.
That makes sense.
Which is hilarious. He's got a wrestling background, which well, wait till the end of the show. You're going to say, wow, when everything gets all done for him, there's
a career path.
Wonder if Vince is going to be knocking on his door. So he was wrestling in his senior year. He's a heavyweight, obviously. Yeah. At this point in the season, from February 1989, he was undefeated in 24 matches.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing here. And just kicking ass. At this point, he's 6'1", 267. And
good fuck.
They said he's only been into the second period 3 times this year. So he's just wrecking people in the first fucking frame of this shit. And he said that this year I expected to be better, and I am so far, he said. So he's very happy with his wrestling. Now, his senior season in football, they said that I found a little kind of profile of him in the paper, saying he has good speed. He runs a 4.8 40.
That's not bad.
Not bad for a guy who's about 280 at this point. That's
an enormous man.
That's a lot of man coming at you at 4.8 40. Like, shit.
That's a rocket for that size of a man.
That's not great for a wide receiver, but for a defensive tackle, that's scary. That's it's a big dude. So his grades, though, you would think this guy is going to be recruited by every college in existence.
Not a thing?
No, because he's not
he's a dope.
His grades scared off recruiters.
Dana's a dummy.
And this is in the late 80s, Jimmy, when they didn't really give a shit about that. So imagine how fucking bad you have to be at school.
Did you have to be?
Yeah. How just not showing up to your classes do you have to be to possibly have Division I colleges not be interested in you? Because that's a lot. Wow. Not good.
That's what it has to be, right? Just not caring at all, not going. Right?
Yeah,
it's not
going.
That he's got. It's not that he goes and just gets shitty grades.
No. He's not stupid at all. Like, that's the other thing about Dana. Dana's far from dumb. He's a smart guy. He's just doesn't want. He's not interested.
Refuses to apply it. Yeah.
He's a gigantic. He's a gigantic human being who's dominated in football since he stepped on a field. So he has no doubt that he's going to go to college, no matter what his fucking grades are. Because I guarantee you, he's gotten probably favors and help and things like that all through school. So he's expecting more. He does get his 40 time down to a 4.7 though. So
that's nice.
That's pretty good. And he's finally recruited here. I mean, multiple schools recruited him, but I mean, it should have been every big school.
God, yeah.
It should have been USC and Notre Dame and Ohio State. Everybody should have been up his ass.
Yeah, and he's in Ohio?
He's in Ohio, yeah. So, I mean, Ohio State's, Jesus, no one's going to get him. But instead he ends up at Kansas.
Really?
Which is not considered a giant football powerhouse.
No.
You know, that's obvious.
They're
in the Final Four as we speak. So
their basketball team is insane. Yeah.
And has been for a long time, since Danny Manning and shit, and before that even. I mean, they've had forever. Was it Roy Williams as their coach, I think they had for 30 years or something. But he made it onto the Jayhawks, but he was on Prop 48 status.
What does that mean?
That means you're too dumb to play right now. You have to work it out a little bit. It means you're not qualifying out of high school on NCAA academic standards to receive the scholarship they'd like to give you.
So do you have to test in, or do you have to take like extra classes?
He has to work toward it. Yeah, he can't take the scholarship. So he doesn't. So he ends up sitting out his freshman year, which they usually redshirt you anyway. So that's really not a loss for him. That's the other thing. Like, oh, big punishment. Damn, they're making me stay, which then now you just have time to work out and get your body right for college now. So it's not really a big loss. He says, though, it was a great experience, and he's almost thankful for it. Almost. That, he didn't get right in. He said, quote, "It was a big advantage for me. While they were out practicing, I was in study hall. I'm doing really well in school." None of that is true, by the way. None of that. He's doing terrible in school. Let's see. Here's Chuck Woodling, who's the sports editor for the Jayhawks, whatever. Quote, "He didn't do very well on the books, but he was a smart guy. He was a classic example of why they would have Prop 48. He screwed up in high school, but he could do the work." So, yeah, he didn't care. And he says, Dana, though, takes it a step further and says, "The only reason I came here is because Coach Mason is the only one who told me I'd get an education."
Or because they're the ones that said that they would make sure of it.
He's only interested in getting an education. That's it. I mean, he has no interest in multi-million-dollar professional football. Right. Why would he? He'd like to maybe get a CPA and,
go buy a giant suit and get a job at Wall Street.
Make a nice, solid $78,000 a year. And why would he go for these NFL dreams? This is crazy.
Yeah. Be forced to live in Newark and commute to the city, and I can't wait.
No shit. And this line for Kansas had Gilbert Brown on it, too. That is too enormous. Remember Gilbert Brown for the Packers?
No.
He weighed 350 pounds.
Jesus.
They made Burger King made a special Whopper for him in Green Bay that was like 8 or 10 patties or some crazy shit. It was called. You could order it in Milwaukee or whatever in Green Bay.
Order the Gilbert Brown.
You could order the Gilbert Brown, and they'd give you this giant Whopper that
That's disgusting.
Will stop your arteries. I think he died, Gilbert Brown. I'm not sure. I think he's dead. But to have those two on a line together is taking up a lot of space. They don't even have to have any lateral movement. Usually they just stand still, and there's not a lot of room to run with those two dudes. So 1990, ready to play.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. It says in this article, quote, "While he was studying last year, he was also pumping iron." Oh, yes, he was. He weighs 305 right now, and bench presses 400, and he can still run the 40 and 4.8.
He is so strong.
Jesus Christ. His coach said, quote, this is his high school coach, "He doesn't look like a fat kid." Okay.
What?
He doesn't look like a fat kid. He just has massive legs. So he's just a giant guy. Giant dude. So he also, I didn't know this, University of Cincinnati player Keith Starks is his half-brother at this point. Now, I don't know if he's related to John Starks. Is Keith Starks
half-brother?
Yeah. Is Dana Stubblefield related to John Starks? This is what I need to know now. John wouldn't have come up yet.
Is Keith Starks, he was at Cincinnati at this time?
Yeah, he was a University of Cincinnati basketball player. Look up if just Dana Stubblefield, John Starks, if they're fucking half-brothers, it'll say.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm sure. That'll be the first.
I was going with Keith Starks.
Yeah, then we got to find out if Keith's related to John.
I was trying to find his wiki, but it doesn't even show one. No. I'll just go to John Starks' wiki because he's the most famous of these guys.
Yeah, you know just what I mean? A cross-reference of Stubblefield Starks.
It's his children. It doesn't show fucking anything. What the hell? Brothers, siblings, nothing. They just show no siblings?
Hold
on
here. Hold on.
That doesn't make any sense.
Let's see here. John Starks, Dana Stubblefield. Sorry, everybody, but this is some information that if John Starks is half brothers with Dana Stubblefield, we really need to know this. This is crazy. I don't see anything. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Clyde Stubblefield, John Starks. What is this about? Okay, well, we can't get into this rabbit hole right now, but
it's going to be all
I don't
day
think
long.
I don't think they're related. That would probably be known. That would be known anyway.
Yeah.
So 1990, Kansas is 3-7-1. It's not a real good football team here, and he plays, but he's getting his feet wet.
Yeah.
91, they're 6-5, so
wow.
Winning record. He has 10 sacks though, Dana.
Wow.
Which is really good for college. 10 sacks because
they still can't manage to put up more than 3 wins.
6-5. So 10 sacks in only 11 games is pretty good.
Oh, 6-5.
Yeah,
the other
6-5.
season they were 3-7.
3-7-1. Yeah,
one. Right.
He's on the first team, all Big 8 team. So like an all-pro team.
The Big 8. Yeah.
Big 8.
Well, yeah.
Now Josh Lux or Lukes, I can't remember how he says it. He's an agent. A disgraced agent, and I read his book. We got to do a bonus episode about his book one of these days because it's just tons of dirt on people because he was a fucking agent, so he has all.
He's
this
a filthy
dirt.
Agent, and he just let it all fly.
Yeah, because he was trying to say this is how easy it is to manipulate the system, and he talks about how he gave athletes money for years in college and
asshole.
In his, he wrote an article for Sports Illustrated, and he said that he offered Stubblefield $10,000 in cash while he was at Kansas, and Stubblefield didn't accept it from him.
He turned him down.
Yeah, so that could just be that he had another agent already, though. That's the other thing. So that
just didn't need money right now.
Yeah, because he had another agent. That might be the other, or whatever. So, or he was, above it. Who knows?
Up and up. Who knows?
Who knows? So 92, the Jayhawks go 8-4. My goodness. They go all the way to the Aloha Bowl.
Yeah.
Which isn't a prestigious bowl, but if you're a college kid and you get a free trip to Hawaii,
not bad.
In the middle of winter, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they play BYU there.
Oh.
God, imagine imagine being BYU's coach and like their staff, like part of their job is to keep these kids from fucking and like having fun and drinking and stuff
in Hawaii.
And you're like, oh my God, it's just the beach. They're all half naked. Everyone's gonna fuck by the time we're done here. They're gonna try to at least.
There's
this is
so
crazy.
many tits halfway out right now.
Do you know how many impure thoughts are going on my team right now? It's ridiculous. I can't take it anymore.
Try to keep their head in the game plan.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dana Stubblefield's like fucking got chicks all over him, probably with a big smile on his face. In the BYU game, I didn't realize this, but Steve Young's little brother played for BYU.
Is that right?
Had no idea. Apparently not as good as Steve Young.
I met that guy.
Steve Young's little brother?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
At the Hall of Fame, Steve Young was. I went to get his autograph. Yeah, and his brother held Steve's baby for him.
Oh, that was
to
his
take
brother.
A picture with me. That was his little brother is so much littler than him. That's shocking. That was a professional. Well, at least college quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently he's a better baby holder than he is a quarterback.
Football deliverer.
So, listen, little bro.
Yeah.
So his little brother there completed 15 of 31 passes for 262 starts here. He was sacked by Dana Stubblefield 6 times.
Jesus.
6. He just
in one game.
He ate him alive here. Yeah.
In the bowl game, too.
Absolutely fucking ate him alive here. Stubblefield said, we knew that if we put pressure on him, he would make bad decisions, and he did. So there you go. He said they set their guards and tackles so far off the line that it gives me a good chance to get a running start.
Wow.
Because they do. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give this guy a running start. I don't think you'd want to pop him.
the fucking line.
You'd want to pop him as soon as he came out of his stance, man, or
fast as possible.
If he's got some steam built up.
That's a crazy job for those guys, too. The guys that are on the line. I mean, the guys that got a block, obviously, that's a tough gig in the first place.
Yeah.
But the other guys have to beat him and then have to beat the quarterback. It's unbelievable how when they do get a sack, it's a feat of athletic prowess that you can't imagine.
It's so much harder to block, though. Because you have to block, you're not allowed to grab, you're not allowed to hold. You don't know where the other guy's going either, is the other point. Like, he might have a move set up, and you're like, shit. So,
but that guy's got a body. You know what I mean? As a quarterback, you've got a man that's in between you and that guy that he's got to get around. And you know what I mean? You have what directions you can go if that guy's still in that position, the lineman can't get to you. But and they can still get a sack. It's fascinating. Every time I see him, I lose my mind because I can't fucking believe that happened.
It's amazing because the quarterback has the option to throw the ball when this guy's coming. He can throw it away. He can throw it off.
And there's a person in between the two.
He can take off running
to be fine.
the opposite direction is another option that's possible. So
it's fucking unbelievable.
Doesn't seem like it should happen, but yeah, it does.
It's my favorite achievement in any sport.
Read, everybody out there, if you like sports books, like if you like Jim Bouton Ball 4, which I've recommended and a lot of people liked, read Jerry Kramer's book. I can't remember the name of it, but if you look up Jerry Kramer with a K and look up his book, it's fucking great about the 67 season he played for the Green Bay Packers. And it's fucking, he's an offensive guard, and he talks about how, he talks about, first of all, about how many concussions he has, but it's like lighthearted because it's the 60s. He talks about one game where he's like, I got this concussion, because you're supposed to, every play is like, Lombardi would yell at everybody, I don't want to see any pussy shoulder blocking around here. You block with your goddamn head. You're supposed to drive your head right away into the defender's chest on every play. Right. You're supposed to headbutt them on every goddamn play with the front of your head. That's part of your game. In practice, in games, so that's going to happen. He talked about concussions where he's like, I don't even remember half the game. My head hurt for like 4 days. He's like, but I guess I played okay. So at one point he says, I'm starting to get used to these concussions now.
They feel nice.
And I'm like, wow, imagine
they're warm.
That. Yeah.
They feel like home.
It's just a real
That's
jokey
a brain
thing.
bleed, sir.
Yeah. It's just a jokey thing about Bart Starr. He's talking about one game had a concussion, and they were like, he came right back in there as soon as he could figure out what was going on. He didn't know where he was and shit, and they were like, you know where you are now? He's like, yeah. They're like, get back in there. And he fucking ran back. Like, wow.
Unreal.
That's wild. So in the regular season in 3 years at Kentucky, Kansas,
yeah.
He had something shit with a K. I don't fucking know. He had 19 sacks, and he had 10 in 91. He was a team captain. Yeah. He was named MVP of the Aloha Bowl in 92 with 6 sacks.
6 sacks will do it.
Yeah. His career stats for the school were 6th in total tackles, 4th with sacks, and 5th with total tackles for a loss. So first team All Big 8 again. He also received All-America honors from the College and Pro Football Weekly, and won second-team All-America honors from the Associated Press that year. So, doing well, and it's time for the NFL draft. Big guy, fast guy. He's going to get
6 sacks in a bowl game. Who gives a shit?
That's big time. He's going to get drafted. And it's funny who ends up drafting him, too, because I feel like you'll see the connection immediately when I tell you. First of all, 1993 draft, Jimmy, number 1 overall.
Oh, was it a Seahawks quarterback? Was it Kramer?
No.
In 93? Was it Rocket Ishmael?
No, you've guessed this person before as a number 1 draft pick.
Is that right?
A year. Yes.
God damn it. I don't know.
Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think you drafted like a few episodes ago you did that. Number 2 overall, another quarterback.
Another quarterback? Is it Kramer this time?
Rick Meyer.
Oh, close.
Oh,
the Seahawks,
terrible. Yeah, he was so bad. Garrison Hurst for Phoenix. That's when he was
good
drafted,
running back.
93.
Yeah.
He played until like last year.
Yeah.
I think finally, I'm not even kidding. I think he retired last year, right?
He did stick around. No, I think that's Edgerrin James, right? No.
2020, I think he retired. You
might be right.
Fucking crazy, man. But the Cardinals could never make it work with him, though.
No.
Obviously. Marvin Jones, number 4. Let's see. Willie Roaf, number 8. Hall of Famer there. The bust, Jerome Bettis, number 10.
Wow.
So it's a decent draft this year, not too terrible. Number 25, O.J. McDuffie with the Dolphins. And then number 26, right after that, San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
Take Dana Stubblefield.
Yeah.
Whose quarterback at that time was Steve Young.
No shit.
Yeah, you don't think that his little brother told him, this fucking guy ate my ass up in this? Because I'm sure he talked to him, how'd your bowl game go? I got sacked 6 times by one motherfucker. This guy's
I'll bet Steve called his brother. Hey, guess who my new teammate is?
I'm sure he said he's unblockable, and I wouldn't doubt if Steve went to his coaches then and said, hey, take an extra look at Stubblefield. He sacked my brother 6 times in a fucking game. Maybe take an extra look at him.
My brother can still smell his breath.
Yeah, and then they looked at him. It's the end of the first round, so it's not like it's a high-pressure pick. It's a, you know, so they ended up taking him. Why not? I guarantee you that's probably how it was, if I'm being honest here. Second round of that was Michael Strahan, by the way. People
Is that right?
Missed out on Strahan. He didn't go till number 40. Yeah, a lot of defensive linemen went ahead of him. Guys like Coleman Rudolph went ahead of him. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the Jets. So Jets, you could have had Michael Strahan, and you picked Coleman Rudolph 4 picks ahead of him.
Wonder how it worked out.
Natron Means right after Michael Strahan.
Shit.
Yeah, remember him? He was badass. So 1993, he goes to San Francisco, which is a big change from Ohio and Kansas. Let me say. Yeah. That's a, whew, boy. He's lonely, though. He doesn't know anybody in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know, like, he has a hard time making friends, I guess. I don't know.
Really?
Well, I guess he's a rookie. So I guess as a rookie, you feel uncomfortable. And I think maybe, too, he's so enormous that I don't know if he gets the same hazing as the other rookies get because he's just this giant, scary man. Yeah. So I would think, you might be a little lighter on him maybe or something. So I don't know.
Repercussions?
Yeah, he lived by himself in Santa Clara, and which is right by the complex.
Yeah, it's right there.
And he would just come by the complex even when there was nothing going on, no practice or anything, just to hang out with like the security guards and the cleaning crew.
Wow.
Because he didn't know anybody else. So he'd just go and hang out with the fucking guards and the crew and
this
shit.
This is a great time in this area also to buy property and hang out.
God.
He's about to become a billionaire if he buys 2 houses.
Just buy some stuff and hold it for just a little while. And he would just take a sauna or whirlpool, hang out with the cleaning crew, talk to the security guards, and go home.
Let your property appreciate.
That's it. That's what he was. What are you doing, Dana? Just bubbles going. My property's appreciating. I'm going to sell this shit in like 2018. You have no fucking idea. Actually, I'm going to rent it out by then.
Yeah,
I can rent out a closet for $8,000 a month in 2020.
I'm going to Airbnb it for 5 years, and then I'm going to sell it. Yeah.
That's right, because some tech kids really want to work for startups.
I'm sitting in bubbles getting rich. That's what I'm doing.
Sitting in bubbles, being rich, owning shit. So 93 San Francisco season, and this is Steve Young. This is Jerry Rice. This is fucking. This is
great times.
This is a squad right here, man. This is a really solid team. They just came off of the 80s with their dynasty, and they're coming back. They're on the upswing again here. They're 10-6 this year. They go to the playoffs, absolutely destroy the Giants in the playoffs. The Giants had no fucking business in the playoffs that year. They weren't good.
Was it Hostetler?
Here it might have been the end of Hostetler before he went to the Raiders. It was Hostetler, and I think this is Sims's last year before he retires. It's one of those years. 44-3, a shit hammering.
Oh my God, that's an ugly game.
It was. And then the conference championship game, which this was a classic game, actually, the Cowboys and the Niners. That was like, I remember that being like, ooh, this is going to be a good one. Yeah. They lose to the Cowboys 38-21. They were unstoppable that year.
Don't worry about it. It's not a loss.
Crushed Buffalo, and that was bad. But he played in all 16 games, Dana did.
Really?
Started 14 of them. Pretty good.
Rookie.
And he gets 10.5 sacks from the defensive line, which is... That's a lot, man. That's good.
Fuck
He's the defensive rookie of the year. And
is that right?
NFL all-rookie team as well. So he's doing well. He's signed. His money's just appreciating while he's taking a fucking sauna.
Yeah.
Then he meets a young lady named Kimberly Karsten. She is a marketing person. And they move in together. They get a townhouse together in Milpitas. How the fuck do you say that?
I don't know.
Milpitas? I don't know. Milpitas?
Milpitas?
Milpitas. I don't know how the fuck you want to say it, but maybe Milpitas, I guess. That sounds like someone with that speaks in other languages. Their first language is trying to say my penis. Penis? Milpitas? What? What?
Well, I want you to touch my penis.
And he's pointing at it with $20 in his hand. You're like, no. No.
Right here.
He's trying to hand you 20 while pointing at it. Sir, I don't.
No.
Sir? No, I'm no.
Keep your milpitas to yourself.
That's not this Wendy's. I'm sorry. This establishment, we don't do that here. This particular Wendy's is free of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he's playing for the 49ers, going to the playoffs. Instead of beating up on Steve Young's little brother, he's on a team with Steve Young, actually. Yeah. He found a girlfriend. He's defensive rookie of the year.
Stunning.
What could be better? Grace.
Yeah.
Grace. We could have done, actually, you know what? We're going to say Grace is after the next season. We'll give him Grace.
Pretty solid one still.
It's good, but it gets better, though. I think I jumped the gun a little there. Yeah, 1994, the Niners go 13-3.
Fuck.
And they beat the Bears 44-15 in the first round of the playoffs. Jesus.
That doesn't happen in the playoffs anymore.
No.
Does that tell you something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they used to have, salary cap came into the NFL in 94 this year. Okay. So I believe this is the last year.
Stopped blowouts?
Yeah, it stops dynasties. Yeah, absolutely.
Does it stop blowouts, though, James?
Yeah, it stops stacked teams from playing mediocre teams in the playoffs. Now it's two mediocre teams playing in the playoffs all the time. There's no more great teams.
Even in the playoffs, there are bad teams in the playoffs, and it's still way too close.
That's what I mean. That's parity. That's the salary cap. That's parity. That's what they wanted.
I think it's all bullshit, is what I think.
Well, that's possible, too. There's a lot of people that would agree with you. Yeah. Little too many people to fucking manipulate that dance. Let's just put it that way.
Maybe. There's just too much money.
When we do a live show, how worried are you that the guy, and how often does it not come off that when the song plays, the fucking lights don't lower?
Yeah.
And that's what they do every fucking day. Do you think that 22 guys and 8 referees are all going to fucking get together and figure it out with
lower
the coaches?
The lights together?
No.
No.
It takes a Broadway play 6 months of rehearsal to be able to do that with half the amount of people.
Yeah, I'll bet there's still mistakes with fucking Hamilton, and it's been going on for like 6 years.
Exactly. But no, back then you'd have, even when you had like the Broncos and Niners in the Super Bowl and it was 55-10, that fucking Niners team was stacked. Yeah. You know, it was just, that's the way it was. The Dallas team was stacked in the early 90s. You can't really stack a team like that anymore. So anyway, this team, though, Dallas this year, 38-28. They beat them in the conference championship. Okay. And then they go to the Super Bowl. They play the Chargers. Right. With Natron Means and all them. And was it Stan Humphries, their quarterback, I think?
It may have been Humphries.
I think it was Humphries.
It had to be.
I think it was Stan Humphries. They win the game 49-26. Steve Young throws a record. He throws 6 touchdown passes or some crazy bullshit like that. That game he plays it, or that year, 14 games, 8.5 sacks, Super Bowl champion, goes to the Pro Bowl. That's Grace.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great.
You got to wait for the ring. Jesus,
you got to wait for the ring.
The ring the next year? Yeah.
I think I just put it in the wrong place. I put it right. I just put it in the wrong place. So
it's pretty good.
95. Okay. They go 11-5, the Niners. They lose to the Packers 27-17 in the playoffs in the first round. This is Favre coming into his own here.
Right.
At that they were declining as Favre was coming up.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the middle of that season, though, there's some distraction for Dana here. In October of 95, he is arrested here. There's a call to police late Friday night from Kimberly Karsten, his 26-year-old girlfriend. She said that he threw several items around their residence. I don't know what that means, if he threw them at her or around or whatever, and then left. Okay? So that's not her only report to police. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 things. Current boyfriend threw shit around the house and left. At the same time, I'd like to report that my ex-boyfriend stole my car.
Oh, my God.
So,
this is volatile.
What a bad night if your current boyfriend is acting a fool, not hitting you, but throwing stuff around the apartment.
Breaking dishes and shit. Yeah.
And at the same time, your ex-boyfriend's driving away in your car.
He's out there.
What do you do?
Wiring.
Yeah.
She is a victim.
That is fucking wow. That's terrible. So then the officers are there taking her statement. And as she's like, yeah, this motherfucker took my car, my ex-boyfriend, it belongs to me and Dana. And, this dude just took it. And Dana's crazy anyway. As they're speaking, Dana pulls into the driveway in the car she says is stolen by her ex-boyfriend. So
he got it back? Is he the hero?
No, he drove away in that car too. That's the thing. So it's a miracle. It's like when the joke about you see an empty wheelchair and you go, I hope it's a miracle. It's one of those. So
he came back, he got the car back, and he's ready to make up for breaking those dishes.
Well, what he did was he went out to buy new dishes. That's what it is. He came back with brand new china. It's at 2 a.m. So he gets there. The officers start to question him or start to talk. What's up with the car? Because they need a separate story now. Was this car stolen? Whatever, all this type of shit. They start to talk to him. He shoves one of them in the chest with his forearm.
Oh, you can't do that.
Which is not the right move, I don't think, at that state in the game. So in the end, Karsten, the girlfriend, is arrested for investigation of making a false report to police about the stolen car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he kind of blew her spot up. She had signed a report stating the ex-boyfriend had come over and stolen the car when it was Dana driving it.
He didn't take it at all.
No, he didn't take it at all. The guy wasn't even there.
Poor bastard.
She just made that shit up. Both Dana and Kim were booked into the Santa Clara County Jail and released. It did take 3 officers to take Stubblefield into custody, though, because he was, and he probably gave up, because I would assume it might take more than that if he really wanted to put up a fight. You know, if you can break through a double team of 2 offensive linemen, you can probably toss 3-4 cops around pretty easily, I would think. Just normal sized people, that aren't 280 pounds of fucking
couple
muscle.
Dudes 5'10", 190. They're pretty easy to push around.
If you weigh 310 and your whole job
6'3",
and his pushing muscles are strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
He's aware of his center of gravity and how to throw it around.
If he shoves you in the forearm in the chest with his forearm, he does that to offensive tackles to move them out of the way that weigh 300 pounds and really want to stop him, and millions of dollars depends on it.
Yeah, he makes them flinch.
He makes them go, oh shit, he's coming. Uh-oh. So this is after midnight here, which is nice. And they take him in and, what is it? Suspicion of assaulting a police officer and whatever the fuck. So anyway, the next day, though, the team comes out and says that this has no effect on his ability to play the next day when they have a game. It's amazing. They said, here's one. The headline is, Stubblefield's arrest won't sideline him. It's from November 1st, 95. And it says, they said the San Francisco 49ers said Tuesday that Dana Stubblefield's arrest on charges of resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer won't result in any punishment by the team or the NFL.
No punishment at all.
Carmen Policy said, quote, he's the president of the 49ers. He said, we do not believe this incident violates any NFL policies. We know Dana to be a person of high character in addition to a valued member of our team. And then he turned in the mirror. He went, oh, my God, my whole head is silver now. What happened? Through the hair dye, my fucking head turned a bright shade of silver after I said those words.
Every bit of it just faded out.
And turns out he had an even worse week. He's like you, apparently, with his stomach. Where, like,
oh, no.
Bad
Poor
problem.
bastard. Oh, the worst.
He apparently came down with a case of the flu on Sunday, or food poisoning or something. And he could only play a few plays in the game because he had to keep going in the back to throw up and shit and have liquid released from all parts of his body.
Oh, my fucking bane of my existence.
So
I envy anybody who can just schedule it. It's fascinating. I'm blown away by the marvel of how well your body operates.
Oh, look at you and your secure butthole. Your butthole's like Fort Knox. Look at it. It's like just, man.
People are like, bro, do you want to go down to the beach like in 2 weeks? And I'm like I don't know. I don't know if I can.
Tell you what, it sounds good now. I'll let you know about an hour before I'm supposed to go if it's going to be possible. What kind of facilities they have down there?
About an hour before we leave, if I have shit in the last 12 hours, we'll go. But if not, no fucking way.
But I've seen you, like, we're going, they're like, hey, 5 minutes and we have to go on stage. And you're like, I'm going to go shit first real quick. And I'm like, we got 5 minutes, Jimmy. You better.
I got to try.
You better fire that missile pretty fucking quick.
I got to do a little, just to tighten up. I got to.
No prep in the launch pad for that, though. You got to just fucking 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, fucking 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, let's do this shit.
I just got to lock up my abs real quick and see if I'm good. Hold on a second.
Yep, that's, let me do 3 crunches and see if I can
I'm going to sit on the toilet and cough. If nothing happens, we're good.
We're good to go. So this is what you would have said after the game.
Yeah.
Quote, coaches were complaining because I was missing plays.
I know the feeling.
Guys, I had to shit so bad. You don't understand. Would you rather have me out there with shit streaming down the back of my uniform?
You know how many times I've been asked, were you at that thing? No, I was not.
No.
I missed it.
Not at all. I was messing up on blitzes, which I never do. When I got arrested, everything just blew up. I don't know what else could have went wrong that weekend. That's no shit. Then his family found out about it. He said,
boy.
And he said it was, he was upset about that. He said, quote, it was a very, very long weekend. I got arrested. I got sick. A week before that, my girlfriend, she had lost the baby. We had lost the baby a couple weeks before I got arrested. It was like boom, boom, boom. What else negative could happen?
There you go. That explains everything. Now, and they need to break up.
More.
This is never going to get better.
No, they've chosen, instead of going to each other for comfort, they've chosen to apparently
fight each other.
Oh, and I don't know where the ex-boyfriend stealing the car fits into this. I don't know.
Maybe she left in her head.
This is what I got in my head. Okay, he left, so she's mad at him. Okay, she's also still mad at her ex-boyfriend, so she's like, "Fuck it, 2 birds."
Yep.
You know, like Dana for what he just did now, but then I'll just say the ex-boyfriend stole that fucking car, and then he'll at least fuck his night up. You know, they'll at least go over and talk to him.
2 birds, 1 shotgun.
That's it.
It's not even a stone. She's just blasting everybody.
So he said that, quote, I knew something was going to happen to where I just blew up and did something I was going to regret. Everybody knew when I came into the locker room I wasn't myself. Even Coach George Seifert came up to me. He pulled me aside and said, is everything all right? He said, don't isolate yourself from the ones who are trying to help you. He said, we're all human and everybody makes mistakes. We've just got to overcome those mistakes and continue. Sure. And then he said, you see this fucking head right here?
Yeah. I've never had anything but this.
If you had, like, you know how Jerry West is the NBA logo?
Yeah.
If you had a silver-haired middle-aged white man, like, outline logo, it's George Seifert's head.
Yeah. It's George Seifert's head with that nose.
It's him. He is the guy. Like, he's the face of it. You know, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
As much as Vince McMahon and Dana White are the actions of it, he's the face of it. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he goes to the Pro Bowl that year. So, regardless of his issues, he still goes to the Pro Bowl. Not too terrible. His relationship, too, is all better now with Kim.
They've healed?
It actually says Stubblefield, although he's living by himself, he and Karsten still see each other. So healed up, he said. They have sex. She drops by the complex at noon during the week and breaks bread with the man who breaks up offensive plays on Sundays. That's the article. Jesus Christ. That is terrible.
What you mean is they have a nooner and he goes back to work. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
What we mean is we knocked him down a little. We're going to fluff this bad boy back up again. Let's, by the way, get his cock while we're fluffing the story. Fluff his cock, too. We want him to feel good. Then a quote from Dana, quote, "She brings lunch to me every day. We've been seeing each other a lot and smoothing things over between us. Everything's been great so far. We're just having fun. We just forget about the past."
Okay.
That's, this is going to work out well, right? In other words, he's good now.
Fuck it. Is he ever?
He is so fucking good now. Even Coach George Seifert said that Stubblefield, different guy now.
Oh?
Said he smoothed out the rough edges and is back in form as good as any guy on the team, and he's a great player. They said they could listen to this line. The coaches had realized something was wrong when this student of the game was doing poorly on his pop quizzes during the course of games. Blitz or stay home, stunt or play two gap. Oh, boy. Seifert said basically he's been the type of guy that other people would ask, what do I do? Yeah. He would know everybody else's assignment. And all of a sudden, when he was making errors, it was about that time, and you just put two and two together. I think it distracted him a little bit, but he's back to his old self again.
All right.
Kicking ass. He plays in every game, 16 games, 4.5 sacks for him that year. So numbers definitely declining. But in one of the games, he was shitting the entire game, so you have to take that out as a possibility.
I really feel awful about that.
September 11th, 1996. Apparently, he and Kim, in addition to their reconciling, she got pregnant again, and this time they have a baby.
Oh, on September 11th?
No. They have a baby 17 days earlier. So do the math of whatever, the July 20-something. So July 24th or 5th if it's 31 days. I don't fucking know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's definitely 31.
31. So September 11th, 1996, though, they're in domestic bliss, obviously. Think about it. 17-day-old baby. You're nesting. You're doing all that.
This kid's not even a month old. We got 3 weeks of this thing.
I'm doing that thing where I'm staring and making sure they're breathing every 2 seconds.
Hyper-focused on the chest.
Never relaxing like we've talked about. So apparently it's 2:18 a.m.
Oh, God.
Here, and Los Altos police respond to Stubblefield's home. Twice in the span of less than 2 hours. Let's talk about why.
What?
Yeah. They first respond to his home at 2:18 a.m. after a 911 call was placed, and dispatchers could only hear a woman's voice and a baby crying.
Oh, boy.
If it's 2 in the morning and you're a 911 dispatcher and you hear a woman's voice in the background and a baby crying, you send people there immediately. There's a problem.
Yeah.
So after a while, the dispatcher stayed on the line while it was the whole time it was live. After a while, the dispatcher hears a loud argument between a man and a woman.
Oh, God. Can you imagine being that?
So they send
helpless ass dispatcher.
So they have one thing they can do, one bit of recourse, and that's they send officers to the house.
You can do that. Yeah.
You can do that. Most people can't do that. Most people can't be like, I'll dispatch cops right to their home.
But as like a 911 dispatcher hearing the awful happen right now,
be terrible. Yeah,
there's no cops there yet, and you just got to be like pressing buttons, go, go, go.
Well, every one of those situations when someone calls and someone's dying or someone's you have to they say stay on the line, so they're hearing this shit play out live action every day in front of them. That's a terrible. Someone that if you're like with somebody, a spouse or something who's a fucking 911 dispatcher, like when they get home from work, give them a half hour to just let them like relax for a half hour, let them like watch some
either that or
videos.
They're just ready to do fucking anything because they've got to have nerves of just solid rock.
Either way, at the end of the day, give them a half hour, I feel like. Otherwise, eventually they're going to snap because there's no way you can let that shit can not affect you.
You think you've heard a blood-curdling scream. You haven't.
No,
they have.
That's crazy. So when officers get to the house, Stubblefield and his girlfriend, Kim, here both deny calling 911. which someone called 911. Sorry.
Curious ass baby.
I mean, yeah, the baby's 17 days old. That'd be amazing. So Stubblefield said the argument was over the baby, 17-day-old daughter. Stubblefield told police he'd been drinking earlier in the evening, and he pushed his girlfriend during the argument.
Oh, you can't say that out loud.
No, yeah, the woman had just had my kid 17 days ago and is still like recovering. Yeah, I just shoved her because, I was pissed off about something.
She's mangled down there, and I think pushing her around's a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably good. So obviously the police put him in handcuffs and took him away. No, they didn't actually at all.
What?
No. No. Remember how OJ? This is a very OJ-esque situation. Remember the OJ with Nicole, and they were like, "I'm sure everything's fine here" on that New Year's Eve. One of these.
You'll figure it out.
She told police that she didn't feel threatened by Dana, and and so she said, "I want him to be able to stay here because I don't feel threatened by him." So let's put him back in the situation. So the police do take his handguns, though, I guess, because, whatever. They take 3 handguns, a .44 caliber Magnum, Smith & Wesson, and some other gun, and a bunch of ammunition as well. Problem solved, right?
Done, yeah.
They drive away. Dana and Kim are waving, holding the baby as they leave. You can see, bye, thanks.
Yeah.
Like they just came over for cookies.
It's a nice cold open to their TV show of the Stubblefields.
It really is.
Just like waving in the driveway.
What a silly mistake. Our baby's so smart. She called 911 in the middle of the night. Wow. Talk about you needing them fucking 2 a.m. feeding. She needed it so bad she called 911 about it. Goddamn.
Probably saved at least 2 lives.
So everything's all good. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll be quiet the rest of the night. Everyone's going to go to bed. Quiet for the baby. You don't want to wake the baby.
Yeah, we won't talk about this anymore. We'll deal with it in the morning. Let's go to bed angry.
Well, then at 3:54 a.m., a second 911 call is placed from the home. Again, nobody talks. It's just 911.
Nobody's saying a word. It's
and
just
you
screaming.
Hear the background. Just an off-the-hook phone at 911.
God damn it.
So the same cop comes back.
Really?
Okay, the same cop. So this cop absolutely knows what's been going on.
I was just here 45 minutes ago.
So the girlfriend here, Kim, tells police that he had gone to sleep and then woke up. So Dana fell asleep and then woke up when the baby began to fuss. Yeah. Which, that happens when you have a newborn. Like, expect to be woken up a lot, period.
Yeah, and she's 3 weeks old, and she just witnessed probably some horrible shit.
Yeah, it's just no
She's
matter
not just
what.
gonna fall back asleep.
You can't get mad at a baby waking up in the middle of the night when you have a newborn. And the baby was fussing, and she was breastfeeding the child at the time. Okay, so 4 a.m. breastfeeding. You don't get anything more pure than this. This is like life-giving. So at that point, she said that she was standing next to the bed when she bent down to pick the baby back up because she had put the baby down and then came over to pick her back up. When she bent back down to pick the baby up, Dana kicked her in the mouth.
What?
Kicked her in the mouth.
Well, he was laying down or standing up?
While she was bending over to pick the baby up.
Yeah.
From the bed, he kicked her in the mouth. Okay.
Jesus.
So, why did he kick her in the mouth? That's a good question. He said that he became upset when his girlfriend tried to feed the baby because, and I quote, this is from a police report directly from his mouth, she didn't need to be fed at that time of the morning. She's 17 days old. She needs to be fed whenever she needs
all
to be
the time.
fed. Like, just whenever it comes up. You just, here you go. What are you supposed What are you going to reason with them? You don't need that much food right now. We're doing a 10-hour fasting thing, so you have a window of what.
They're starving children in Africa.
Fuck, man. This kid's never going to get keto right either, ever. It's like, I tried with this fucking kid, but not listening. So
he thinks that you can just put him on a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's it?
I guess. I mean, that's fucking wild. So he admits this to the police. He told the officer that he became upset because of that and said she didn't need to be feeding the kid at that kind of time of morning.
So
I kicked her. Yeah. He told police he kicked her in the mouth to keep her away from the baby so she wouldn't pick the baby up to feed the baby because it was crying at 4:00 in the morning, or she was crying, I should say. So the officer could not determine if the woman's lip was swollen. He said, I don't know what her lips are like normally, so can't tell.
This is California. Who knows what she's injecting in those?
That's the other thing. How full of poisons? How many toxins do you have pumped into your face, first of all, before I determine swelling?
How many cc's do they usually put in your face?
But no, this is serious. The cop did say, quote, I could see that her lip was not cut. So there was that. So anyway, so obviously at this point, this is the second time the cop's been there, immediately says, I kicked her in the face to keep her away from the baby. As the words are still hanging in the air, both your hands are in cuffs, correct?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, no.
You should be.
No. No, they don't arrest him.
2 times he's admitted that he's put hands, for one reason or another, hit her.
Yeah.
Made contact
one was
with her.
Kicked her in the face, Jimmy.
Right.
Like,
that's awful.
While the baby was right there, he agreed to leave the residence for the remainder of the day.
No, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll go cool off.
Yeah. They were given domestic violence referral sheets, according to the police report. He left in a taxi because his blood alcohol level was .065, which is below the legal limit, but they didn't want him driving. They didn't want to be responsible for putting him in a car. They didn't mind being responsible for leaving him in a house to commit violence, though. That was fine.
After he already hit her.
So this is fucking crazy. He was never arrested, though. That is goddamn wild.
Wow.
Stubblefield's girlfriend got them to not arrest him. Kim got the cops to not take him in because she told the police that she did not want him arrested for battery because she feared his employers at the time, the 49ers, would find out and it would, quote, damage his public reputation.
Oh, boy.
So there you go. Try that shit at home, everybody. Man or woman, say I kicked him/her in the face.
Yeah.
Because, quote, the baby didn't need to be fed right then, and see how quickly you're back in the back of a fucking squad car. Like that. It's wow. You got to be real rich to pull that shit off and famous.
And when your job requires, like, you can be fired for that, like as a football player, as not as a post office employee or a Home Depot employee. They generally don't look at that.
No,
after you're hired, they keep you.
There's a lot of places that'll fire you for certain criminal activity.
For domestic violence, really?
Fuck yeah, that's one of the ones that you really... Yeah, a lot of corporations and shit will do that.
I didn't know that.
It's yeah. Especially if it's in the newspaper like this. That'd be bad.
It's a pretty big deal.
But the Niners, they shrug it off and go, plow on with the season, and they don't give a fuck about it. So in San Francisco here, because it didn't make any publicity at the time. It didn't come out till years later.
Wow.
And when civil court documents were revealed and police reports came out, and people were like, holy shit. So this is a pattern you'll see here. 1996 with the Niners, they go 12-4.
Yeah.
And 12-4, they go to the wild card round against the playoffs, or against the playoffs.
Yeah.
In the playoffs against the Eagles, Philly here, and they shut them out 14-0. God damn, no.
Is that right?
No fucking scoring. Good Lord. Then the next year here, the next week they beat Green Bay 35-14. I'm sorry, Green Bay beats them 35-14.
Right.
That was still in the last year. And Green Bay goes on to win the Super Bowl that year and beat the Patriots. So there's that. He plays in 15 games this year, has 1 sack.
Oh, no.
1 sack. So
they figured out how to play him.
Yeah, what you do is you have him have domestic problems where the cops come and don't arrest him for some reason, and then he's distracted and doesn't play well. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but
the play scheme may be dropping him back into coverage. There's a lot of different reasons for it, but
they're not doing zone blitzing with his fucking
Yeah.
ass. He's only 6'2",
he's that big,
so
you send him.
He's either run D or being sent or some shit. So 97 San Francisco, they go 13-3 again. Look at that. They get Mariucci in there. And
God, they were good for so long.
Right? This is going on 20 years almost 20 years. Late 70s, they were terrible. So anyway,
long.
So strong record. They're on the comeback here, and they beat the Vikings 38-22 in the divisional round of the playoffs. They go to the Packers in the championship game and lose 23-10 to Green Bay, and Green Bay lost to Denver that year.
Right.
So there you go. Jimmy was very happy. This is
This is a big deal.
thrilling moment for Jimmy's.
That was a fun Super Bowl, too.
That was a good Super Bowl.
The
Elway
next
with
year
the,
wasn't so fun. I mean, it was great for Broncos fans, but
Yeah,
it was just a boring
Super Bowl. Yeah.
blowout of Atlanta, just so ugly.
This year you had like two gunslinging quarterbacks. You had Elway and Favre. Like, that's fun.
Favre's,
You know what I mean?
Favre's still in the prime of his career. It's a big deal. Favre
Elway-
never won a Super Bowl again after that.
No, Elway versus
again.
Chris Chandler,
It's not as good.
not as good. It's just not the same kind
Even
of
with
matchup.
Jamal Anderson in the backfield, it's
just
still
'cause
not
he-
a good. It's not a good matchup.
Just because he does a quote dance when he wins a touchdown, or when he gets a touchdown, doesn't really. Yeah, he's still
not
pretty
as
boring.
good. Yeah.
So this year, though, some distractions again. October 16th, 1997, Dana is arrested again. He is this time it's on suspicion of drunk driving after he spotted speeding along the center divider on the 101 by the California Highway Patrol.
He's in the center median. What?
He's in the center, speeding along the center divider. Speeding,
Wow.
too, going too fast. So
Just passing everybody in there.
yeah, he's pulled over, clearly. He's got a 1997 Mercedes. He also veered into the emergency lane of the southbound one. So he actually went, it's fucking crazy.
What? He crossed. Oh my God.
So he's going nuts here.
That's reckless.
So they said he showed, quote, objective symptoms of alcohol intoxication. Number one, that fucking driving move, I think, is one.
That's a bit scary.
Then they said slurred speech, red eyes, and the odor of alcohol on his breath.
And he's hammered doing that?
All of these sound not great. So the officer then said that he failed a series of field sobriety tests as well. Now his fiance is in the car. She's sober, so they released the car to her. She drives off.
Why
He's
the
booked.
fuck wasn't she driving in the first place?
That's my question. He doesn't seem like a type of guy who's like, you just drive. He seems like, I'm driving, but I'll take the keys, and then he kicks you in the face. Like, Jesus, sorry.
As soon as he starts to get over onto that fast lane shoulder, don't you go, dude, I'm sober. Why don't I just drive?
No shit. And I'm not trying to make light of this. I'm trying to say that this guy's the type of guy who seems pretty domineering.
Yeah.
If he's trying to control when a newborn baby's hungry, that's
Right.
a lot of control that a person needs to have. I feel like that's too much. So they book him into jail, San Mateo County Jail, and later on he's released when he was deemed sober again. When they decided he was sober, they deemed him sober and an awful driver, and they let him go. He's given a blood test, which the results are expected in a few weeks, and I never heard another thing about it again.
What?
I couldn't find more about it. I don't know if he ever had to do. I don't know I don't know if they just fucking dropped it.
Maybe
or
no
what.
penalty or anything. Jesus.
I feel like if they don't arrest him for kicking his girlfriend in the face in front of their newborn, that he could probably get away with being a little tipsy behind the wheel. You know. And wouldn't you think
hurt,
so?
No harm, no foul.
Yeah. Wouldn't you think so if you were him too?
At
this point,
if you're that guy,
above
you've
the
got
law.
to just assume you can do whatever you want.
And
This is also post OJ. He should know better.
When the shit was going on in '96, that was directly after OJ in the state of California.
Right.
That's the other thing. This is
Just
the same
up the
state.
road from it.
It's what the fuck are we talking about, man? It's crazy. Like, I don't know how they're not like, oh boy, football player smacked his wife around or touched his wife at all. I'm at least taking him in for the night. This isn't going to be on me. You know, if we find her head in the fucking garden, this isn't on me. It's going to be on somebody else. So he's taken in. Apparently, this arrest just made him stronger. From what it seemed like. He plays in all 16 games this year, has 15 sacks.
There you go.
Fucking dominates. He is an all-pro, pro bowler. He is fifth in MVP voting. MVP voting as a defensive tackle. And
He's
he
the
is
fifth most important player in the league.
And he is the defensive player of the year in the entire league.
Unbelievable.
So a bad motherfucker is what that says. And lucky him, just happened to be the last year of his contract too. What a lucky guy, isn't he?
He is about to get so paid.
And February 24th, 1998, he's sitting with the general manager of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
And they're telling him how valuable he is.
Yeah.
And the GM
right?
Yeah, the Commanders here. The GM, Charlie Casserly, said, quote, well, he signed with the Redskins, not the Commanders.
Yeah, but the Redskins are the Commanders now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying that would be like if, saying Hulk Hogan's was the WWE champion. It's like, he's a WWF champion when he was doing it, but this is now.
You're right.
That's then. That's all I was saying. I don't give a shit what they call themselves. I don't care.
My dumb brain was like, does he even know that is a thing?
Yeah, no. They can call themselves the Taint Ticklers. I'll call them that if they want to call themselves that. I don't care.
Whatever they want, yeah.
Whatever you want to be called. But at this point.
It was called this for a very long time.
At this point, this is, for like 100 years. So,
yeah.
So GM Charlie Casserly said, quote, Dana, this isn't real complicated. If you're with us the last 2 years, we win the division and win a couple playoff games. And then they said, we have an offer for you. A 6-year, $36 million contract.
I'll sign that. Yeah.
That sounds terrific. So he signed it, and he said, quote, they can key off some of the things I have to offer for this team, being in the NFC Championship game 3 years out of 5, winning the Super Bowl. These are things they want me to bring to the team. So winning experience is what they want.
He's entrusted with that?
He's a winner.
Yeah.
Don't you
Put
get
that
it?
on your shoulders and let's go.
That's right. So they hope that he does more than just motivate his teammates. It says here they want him to, they said the last 2 years they were ranked 30th against the run in 96 and 28th against the run in the last season. So they need run defense is what it is here. He said
but they're playing against the fucking Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. And all of them that's their fucking first. You know what I mean? They have great running backs. That's what you've got to be fending against. So it's not their fault for being that bad. It's just you're playing the best at it.
You were still dealing with Dallas and that offensive line and Emmitt Smith. You were dealing with the Giants.
6 games a year.
Trying to have running back. Yeah. So he also, the GM says, quote, I get a lot of input when I go to the mall or an NBA Wizards game, and basically everybody told me the same thing. Get a defensive lineman. Dana is being very modest. He will be at the center of attention, and he will, this is in italics in the paper, so I'm emphasizing here, he will help the guys around him play better. He will help the rest of the football team play better. He will. Wow.
Or else. Yeah.
God damn. That's a lot here. Of course, Stubblefield's deal includes a voidable and very large balloon last year. So really, it's about 28.5 is what they're saying, because there's no way they're going to keep him for that last year of the contract, they're saying. So, but it also includes an $8 million signing bonus. So
that's nice.
Not too shabby here. John Randall had just signed a $10 million signing bonus deal.
Boy, was he good.
He was really good, yeah. So I don't know why Dana wouldn't. Seems like Dana's agent should have said, well, I'm the defensive player of the year, and we play the same position. So that means at this moment, I'm better than him. So I'm making $1 more than that guy.
$1 is all I'm asking.
That's it. I'm at least making $1 more than him. If I'm better than him, I'm making more than him. Fuck you. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't do that, though. He takes it easy here. Stubblefield says that, he said that the Niners didn't really try to re-sign him that much because they knew he was going to be expensive, and he's ready to go now. So 98, he's playing for Washington. Miserable. Washington was miserable back then.
Yeah.
They go 6-10 this year. This is the Trent Green, Gus Frerotte quarterbacked Washington.
Boy.
Yeah, this is not
This
good,
is ugly.
man.
But they've got Champ Bailey on defense, right?
Do they have him? I don't think they had him quite
Not yet?
I want to say like 99, 2000, 2001 maybe Champ Bailey around then. This is like when Charles Woodson came in or something.
Yeah, you're right, because Portis didn't get drafted by Denver till 02 or 03.
Yeah, I think
and that was the trade, so you might be right.
Yeah, I think it's in that era. But yeah, this was a miserable team. Gus Frerotte. Gus Ferrotte's the guy who was such an idiot. He fucking headbutted the wall in celebration and hurt himself and missed games. Remember that?
Yeah.
Fucking moron. Jesus Christ, man. So that's terrible. So he signed with the Redskins. What can be better except that he gets hurt here? He gets hurt, arthroscopic surgery on his knee, expected to miss 4 games. And, bad stuff there. So you don't want to give a guy a ton of money and then he sits out.
Down with a knee problem.
Only plays in 7 games this year.
Fuck.
1.5 sacks.
Oh, no.
big fat bank account, though. So
Yeah.
doing okay for Dana. Yeah, he's doing fine.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you. The people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
1999, the Redskins. They go from 6-10 to 10-6.
Oh, well, that's a nice improvement.
Turning it all around. Look at that. They go all the way to the playoffs. They win a playoff game.
Did they really?
Of course, they beat the Lions, who obviously
really winning a playoff
can't
game.
they're never going to win a playoff game, obviously. So they're 27-13. They beat the Lions.
They're just happy to be here.
Yeah, they're like, we made the playoffs, everybody. Sweet. Everybody buy your Barry Sanders jersey and let's get excited. So then they go to, and I remember this game actually, they go to the divisional round. They lose to Tampa Bay 14-13.
Ouch.
Remember that one? 14-13. That was a boring-ass game, I remember. He plays in all 16 games. He only has 3 sacks. But from what I understand, his main job in Washington is be the run stopper. That's what they want out of him. They're not really giving a shit about the sack numbers as much.
Clog the line, yeah.
Yeah, you'd like some, but I
mean,
not the most. It doesn't, not that necessary. So in 16 games, 3 sacks. Anyway, 2000 here, he plays for Washington again. On September 22nd, 2000, beginning of the year, he gets in an argument with his girlfriend, or his wife now, I apologize, Kim. Kim is now his wife. She stayed with him through all this shit somehow.
Kim Stubblefield.
They get into an argument about luggage.
Yeah.
I don't know any more about it other than it's an argument about luggage.
Awesome.
That leads to police being called to the premises. Now, what I want to go over, what possible fucking problems?
Is it the brand? Is it the wheels? Is it
something's wrong with the lug? Did you break the zipper? Did you fuck the zipper up? It's caught in the thing now. I can't get it out of the nylon.
Yeah.
Did you not? Yeah. Did you? Why is your shit still packed in the suitcase from the last trip when I got to take this one on this one?
Why are there condoms in this one?
Maybe. Your lotion exploded in here and you never cleaned it up. One of those.
And it opened all of these condoms.
God damn it. It's all over. Now all the condoms are ruined too.
They're covered in all of this lotion.
God damn it.
And it even filled a few of them.
Wait a second. I can't find the empty lotion bottle. Honey, I don't know what. It's disintegrated in midair, I think. There's lotion everywhere, but no bottle. I don't know where it is.
They said to put it in plastic, not rubber. Why did you do this?
geez, honey, I don't know what's going on. So
that's got to be what it is, right? They can say it's over luggage all they want, but it's over luggage that's full of used condoms.
It has to be. If that's the fucking case, it has to be just huge condoms and pocket pussies. And he's like, why do you need a pocket pussy? Who are you hanging out with? This is so weird. So I don't know what's going on here, but that's like people overheard the argument about luggage. Like it was about luggage. Like it's
no, bitch. Samsonite's the best.
I've never been.
No, there's been huge advancements. Tumis are really nice.
Yeah, like it's expensive though too.
Yeah,
he's like, I understand, but I'm a millionaire. I'm just perplexed because like we travel a lot.
Yeah.
And before, we moved, Sarah used to travel all the time with me and stuff. So we'd be on the road with suitcase. Plenty to argue about out there.
Sure.
Luggage never came up once. No. I got to be honest with you, like ever.
Unless it's arguing with American about where yours is, then it's not. There's no luggage to argue about.
If 911 was called because he was pummeling some fucking American Airlines phone agent about luggage, I'd go, oh, this makes perfect sense.
I understand.
And I would hope that the cops would give him a pass on that. Let him go.
Somebody I want to know who overheard it, and I want to know what the words were. What was the beef?
I don't know what it is, but the police show up, and there's no signs of physical injury on Kim, and she declined medical treatment and didn't want to talk about it, apparently. Just had no interest in it. But cops were called, and maybe they're thinking this isn't the first time here, so whatever. They end up arresting him anyway. This is in Virginia, not California, by the way.
Okay, in D.C.
Because he's playing with D.C. here, or he's playing with Washington. So he's arrested on charges of assault regardless, because they were called for it.
So hands were on her.
Well, he insists no. He says he did not hit her, calling what happened, quote, just one of those normal arguments you get in with your wife.
Normal.
Which is fine if you didn't have a history of kicking this particular woman in the face. That would be perfectly okay at that point.
Normal.
So he goes, nobody got hurt. Nobody was drinking. Nobody was doing anything out of the ordinary. So, he was taken in. He's released on $2,500 bail and told not to have any contact with his wife for 48 hours, which I'm sure I'm positive he didn't listen to. I would bet money on that.
I'm sure.
He said that he didn't realize that if the cops were called, that quote, I'd have to be taken down. So there you go. He would not say why he and his wife were arguing about luggage, which I'm very upset about.
It's because it doesn't sound as worthy of an argument when you say hard bags are better than soft bags.
It's like, you don't understand. It was about other stuff, but the luggage... sometimes like one thing, it's not really about breakfast, but you yell about breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
It's not about how runny these eggs are, but it sure did kick it off.
But damn it made me think of something else.
It has to be something about a very small detail that just sounds really stupid to say out loud.
It has to be. But Dana goes on to say, it was obvious that the argument wasn't that bad because our two kids were sleeping right down the hall and they never woke up.
Okay.
So
they're used to this shit, Dana.
I was going to say, they might just be used to yelling and
seasoned.
And never woke up, meaning they didn't come out, but you don't know if they were like, close your eyes tight or mom and dad are fighting again. Like, that's some shit kids do.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. If I close my eyes tighter, I can sleep way faster. So he said that he's gone to his older teammates for guidance and advice. Older teammates, guys,
one
veterans.
Of the oldest on the team.
Well, he's only 26, 27. So he's like, he went to the veterans for their advice. Okay. And Deion Sanders gave him some advice.
Oh, boy. Don't listen to him.
Master of the domestic situation here, Deion Sanders. He says, quote, it's between him and his family. They'll be holding hands and hugging and kissing soon.
Oh, boy.
That's not a good way to blow off.
No.
That sort of thing.
That's Deion encouraging the domestic violence cycle. What the fuck, Deion?
That's interesting.
Don't worry, Deion. There's a honeymoon phase coming right around the corner.
I would respect him more if Dion said, I told him he needs to break up with that woman because those two motherfuckers are just not good for each other. And I said, you motherfuckers have been, how many times the cops been called to your house, Dana? This shit ain't good for you. Break up with her, find yourself a different girl. It's not your fault. It's not her fault. But guess what? Some people don't fucking mix. Yeah. Even if he said that, I'd respect that more.
Yeah.
Not just, they'll be holding hands and hugging and kissing soon.
That's, Jesus. It's like he hasn't ever been through a course on this shit. He's been through plenty, I'm sure.
He's had a couple, I think, here. He's had a couple of problems. So the team reaction to this is that Stubblefield will not be disciplined at all. Wow. That's the team. Norv Turner, the coach, said, it's something Dana has to work out. It's a family matter at home. It's not a team issue.
Yeah.
The NFL spokesman declined to comment, but instead cited the league's personal conduct policy, which says a player arrested or charged with a crime involving violence or the threat of violence must be evaluated by professional experts. There was no automatic suspension then. And if the court determines a player violated the law, he faces a fine or suspension without pay. So we're going to ignore it until the courts sort it out, and then we have to deal with it. We'll push it off.
We'll ignore it until our hand is forced.
No shit. Well, November of 2000, that charge of assault is dropped here. Prosecutors abandoned the charge less than an hour before the trial was to start.
Wow.
So she wasn't going to testify against him. So that's
what that sounds like, yeah.
Didn't really have anything to go on at that point.
And she's married, so she doesn't have to.
Yeah, she doesn't have to. She doesn't want to anyway. So she said, or his lawyer, Peter Greenspun, said, simply a crime was not committed. Kim and Dana Stubblefield are pleased, and now that this case is concluded. So done.
Shit.
2000 Redskins here. Mm-hmm. They go 8-8. Oh, boy. He plays in 15 games, has 2.5 sacks.
Uh-huh.
So not good. So a few years earlier than expected, in March of 2001, he is released by Washington.
Released.
After only 3 seasons out of the 6-year deal. So, those payments escalated every year. Right. He gets paid more and more, and he's just
cut him on the cheap side. Yeah.
Cut him on the cheap side. So April of 2001, the Niners want Dana back.
Is that right?
Absolutely. He's talking about it. They said they're interested in him. They said, this article says they can't offer him much more than a backloaded contract, playing the veteran minimum of $477,000 plus a signing bonus because of the salary cap.
Sure.
So they said he probably can't get much, but they clear some shit out, cut some guys, and sign him to a 6-year deal.
Holy shit.
So, they sign him up pretty good here. So that's not
bad. For a guy who's...
that's so you can spread his bonus over the years.
Yeah.
The way the cap works in the NFL, or at least the way it worked back then, you'd sign a guy to a 6-year deal, and you'd give him, say, $20 million. Just say 10 is a round number because it's an easier number to divide and shit. So $10 million up front, 6-year deal. So now rather than fucking having that $10 million hit you all on that first year's salary cap like it would, giving you less flexibility to sign other people, that's spread throughout the life of the contract. So it would, there you go. So it'd be less than $2 million a year on the cap and salary. So that's how they do it.
Okay.
That's how you would hide the bonuses then. And then you can cut a guy and only their bonus will count against the contract, against the cap later. So 2001, San Francisco, Steve Mariucci coaching. They go 12-4.
Yeah.
So good team. Somehow they're in the wild card game at 12-4. So other people must have been cooking that year. Damn.
What division are they? Oh, are they with the
West or the NFC
Cardinals?
West.
And
back then,
yeah. This is the Cardinals.
No, Cardinals are in the East still back then.
Oh,
2001. 2000.
When 2001. Did that change?
Right after that, pretty soon after that, I think.
So it's not Seahawks and Cardinals?
No, Seahawks. No, Seahawks are an AFC team still at this point.
Oh wow.
Seahawks are in the AFC West with Denver,
right?
And Kansas City and Oakland and shit. This is San Francisco. Yeah, this is the Rams are in this division.
Okay.
This is still that. And I think they might have changed it right around here. So not positive. But either way, NFC West, there we go. They lose in the wild card game 25-15 to Green Bay. Fucking Favre would pull things out of his ass. And then he would take a picture of it and show it to a reporter.
Well, it was out of the
this came out of my ass. So 16 games he plays. He gets 4 sacks that year.
Yeah.
And 2002, San Francisco 10-6 again. This year, this was one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah.
They beat the Giants 39-38, and the Giants gave them the game. Like, they couldn't have given it to them. I'm still angry about it, put it that way. I've never been...
Okay.
I had to go for a walk, like, after the game. I had to walk around for a while. I was so mad. So then they lose to Tampa that year because Tampa went on to kick some ass here. Right. They lose 31-6 to Tampa that year, which is a lot of points for Tampa. They weren't scoring that much.
That is an ugly beating.
That's a whooping.
Yeah.
Now, this is the Jeff Garcia Niners, a different Niners team. So December of 2002, during that, though, I'm going to show you how you got to roll your chair over for this because you're not going to be able to see it. Otherwise, it's a newspaper thing. Look at this, Jimmy.
Oh, wow. Is that Dana?
That is Dana doing ballet.
He's dirty dancing. Who's that gal?
That is
just the instructor?
Amazing. She is, let's find out.
All right.
Ilana Goldman is her name, as a matter of fact.
This is pre-Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, this is where they had in San Francisco, an all-star night at the Nutcracker.
Oh.
So they have him in it, and they're
casting celebrities in the Nutcracker?
They put him in tights. And he's in the fucking Nutcracker. It's the 16th
like a
year.
Toy soldier?
It's the 16th year that local pro athletes have performed alongside professional dancers. How terrible has that got to be?
Wow.
That must probably kind of hilarious, though.
Well, some of these guys actually take ballet to make their like Jerry
more
Rice
flexible, better balanced. Right. Herschel Walker was famous for it. A lot of guys did it.
I think Chris Carter did it too.
Possibly. Those are all offensive players who are trying to stay in bounds and shit.
Yeah, it's really your defense.
This guy's a bull rush kind of a guy. It's a weird. He doesn't need to. He's going to act like he's going to bull rush and then tiptoe and pirouette around the left tackle. End up. See, that spin move I put on the running back was actually a pirouette from Act 2 of the Nutcracker, where I come out and do that one move.
Yeah, his boulet, was it? A boulier? Boulier? Whatever it is.
Yeah, plie.
Better than most.
Some shit. So it also says, quote, Tony La Russa is a veteran of the show. Oh, my God.
What?
Tony La Russa dancing in the Nutcracker and then drinking 17 scotches and getting a DUI on the way home would be the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
The guy with the manager. The
manager for years. Yeah.
That
80s Cardinals.
He's dancing.
Apparently. What? I almost need footage of that shit.
Yeah.
That is fucking wild. La Russa lives in nearby Danville, California during the off season. His 20-year-old daughter, Devin, is in the ballet, and his wife, Elaine, also participated in the public performance. Yeah. Sean Dunston is in it. San Francisco Giants outfielder Sean Dunston scratched his head as he tried to learn his part for the Rats and Soldiers battle scene. Wow, fucking... I would pay to watch a rehearsal of people going, the fuck are you talking? What? I don't know if I did fucking 3. What? So step back, 4, step. Fuck you, man. I'm not doing this shit. This is bullshit.
We're playing the Pirates this weekend. I'm out of here.
I got to go take BP, man. Oakland Athletics second baseman Mark Ellis cursed himself when his timing was off and the performers had to start over. He said,
I do love watching an athlete just hate themselves for something they can't do.
No, it's fucking ridiculous. He said, I'm learning. I'm no dancer. It's tough. I'm sweating. And Dunston said that his back was hurting as he laid on the hard floor with his legs in the air. Said his back hurt. So
dancing's not easy, man.
This is fucking ridiculous. Oh, my God. All-star night at the Nutcracker, Jimmy.
Awful. Absolutely awful. I want nothing to do with that.
Is that Tchaikovsky, the Nutcracker? Yeah, right?
Probably.
Yeah. You ever heard the story about him thinking the Dakota apartment building was somebody's house?
Is that right?
It's fucking hilarious. Dude, he was pissed. He came to America to do a tour, And the Dakota is a big building in New York. It's the building John Lennon got shot outside of. Remember, we were looking up places just like laughing at how expensive they were.
How crazy they are.
Like, it's $14 million, but it's this cool old like Gothic looking building in New York. It doesn't belong. All these shiny buildings, and then this.
And then you get that place, and you get a studio in there for $14 million.
Yeah. So one of the guys who lived in the apartment was a publisher of music. So Tchaikovsky was on a tour, and he came there to eat at the publisher's apartment. And so he saw the building, and then it took him on the roof of the building, and he saw all around it, and Central Park is right there, and he's showing him, here's the park and all this. Tchaikovsky's English was shit, and he didn't understand any of it. And later on, he wrote to somebody that, no wonder why all the composers are poor. This fucking publisher, he's got a house that's bigger than any of the Tsar's castles in Russia. He's got an enormous park that's his front yard.
His front yard.
He thought it was his whole. He thought the whole apartment building was this dude's house, and he was like, "This is fucking ridiculous. I'm not making." Like, he was ready to quit music because he was
This
like,
is not fair.
Yeah, he was ready to protest the business and shit. It was like he went to fucking some producer's house and went, "Hold on a second.
I wrote Flight of the Bumblebee. And
this is bullshit."
That's what he wrote, right? I don't know.
Maybe. I think he wrote the Nutcracker. Either way, you might never have seen, if it got even madder and quit, you might not have seen Dana Stubblefield dance ballet.
I would lose my mind no matter what I'm in. If somebody showed me their house was that building and I just assumed that the Central Park was their front yard, I'd go home and jump off of a rickety stool too.
He said
I would be so upset.
He said that he's wealthy beyond dreams, is what he told the guy. His house is bigger than the castles of the Tsars. I'm like, this is hilarious. What a dick. He said that there's a large, giant park as his front yard.
It's a 2,000-room house.
Yeah, the place has like 60 apartments in it, of giant apartments. The whole thing's his house. So anyway, that year, the ballet doesn't seem to help with his sacks very much because he has 15 games and 3 sacks. So
wow.
There you go. Ballet practice not helping. So he's done with San Francisco on a 6-year deal. He's done after this season.
He's added like 7 sacks to their totals in
total since he left San Francisco.
Yeah.
So he is signed with Oakland instead.
Okay. Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that's close by if you want to live in the Bay Area.
I've lost track of
still.
him by this point in my watching of football.
Yeah, he wasn't a force anymore to be reckoned with. So you'd kind of, he plays for them now is all you do if you happen to watch a Raider game.
Now, huh?
Oh, look at that. Dana Stubblefield.
There he is.
So now during the season, though, in November of 2003, he has to testify before a grand jury in the Balco case.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, which if you're not, well, very quickly, if you're unfamiliar with Balco, we've talked about it before, but Balco it's Barry Bonds. It's Victor Conti was the guy that ran it, and they gave out HGH and all sorts of different steroid illegal products for them to distribute.
Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa opened the doors for this shit.
It's all there, man. Yeah. It's all there. And football players were doing it well before baseball players. Because football players since the 60s have been fucking jacking themselves up with steroids. Right. So that's a different story. Baseball players, they used to not even lift weights in the 60s because they said if you got muscles, it would fuck up your swing and you wouldn't be able to pitch the same. So it never happened back then.
Craig Biggio a career.
Gave Brady Anderson 50 home runs. Luis Gonzalez hit 57 home runs one year, guys. That's
absurd.
Right there you go. Okay, what's going on?
He was a noodle 3 years ago.
What's happening? Why is this? He hit 21 homers as a career high, and now he's got 57. Give me a fucking break.
And then back to 14.
Yeah. Biggio's
I wonder what he was doing.
Biggio, either way, he hit 14 homers a year, and he's a 3,000 hit guy. He'd have played no matter what.
He's a great hitter, yeah.
He played every goddamn position, too. He came up as a catcher, ended up as a center fielder, third base. He's fucking
Not
good.
a big guy.
No, I met him. He's tiny. Yeah. He's so fucking tiny. He looks like somebody's accountant. He's just a little tiny guy. Bagwell was short, too, but he was roided to the max. He was
I believe it. Yeah.
Huge. So before the Balco, we've even brought up, that's why I'm not going to say them now, but so many athletes' names in this, and Bonds among the biggest of them. I think Giambi was tied up in all of this, and there's a Jason Giambi and Jeremy, I think both of them.
I think both of them, yeah.
Yeah, just a ton of them, and a bunch of football players as well, including Dana Stubblefield. Obviously. And also Marion Jones got 6 months in jail for that, the Olympian. It was a big goddamn deal. So he has to testify before the grand jury So let's fingers crossed for Dana that he told the truth there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the season, then we'll get into that.
He's not good at the truth, though, we found.
I found by the end of this, you'll just see that everything he says is a lie. If he's talking, it's probably bullshit. I've just come to that conclusion.
What is that? Is it he doesn't want to
because he got away with it?
What is it?
Because he can go, I really care about school more than anything, when he doesn't fucking care about it at all and doesn't get grades, and people will back him up from the school, because I think that's what it is. He can have the cops come to his house, and George Seifert will just tell him, put his arm around him and tell him, you got to just ignore that stuff. I think he's used to skating, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. He's used to getting away with shit. That's why I think it was for OJ, for a lot of the famous athletes. They're used to get Phil Spector, even like famous rich people are used to getting away with a lot of shit.
How wild is that?
And when they don't, they're surprised.
The wall of sound. Your house can just have a dead woman laying in it. That's
what I mean. You can have an H.H. Holmes house if you are a good music producer. It's fucking crazy, right?
It's not the way the world works, guys.
It was for a long goddamn time, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
After 40 years, you would imagine that he'd go, I guess this is the way the world works.
And maybe it's those guys that we should be mad at for like the whole Me Too thing. Maybe if you guys weren't such dicks, that shit wouldn't be required.
Yeah. That's the thing. They would be the people that
take such liberties with fucking living life.
People like that are the people that would complain about it most of all, about Me Too being, what a fucking, this is ridiculous. But it's like, well, yeah, you were raping people. That's why, you fucking idiot.
You're raping people and you got a dead white girl in your foyer, you bastard. Stop it.
No, that's not going to work out. Even if you gain 2,000 yards in a season, they're going to fucking take you down for that. So 2003 Oakland, they are fucking wretched. This is post Super Bowl.
I loved every moment of this.
Right into the toilet at 4-12.
Oh yeah, 6 years of this shit.
6 years of this shit. Let me read to you the list of quarterbacks who attempted passes for them this season.
Yes,
because it is 6 people long. 6 different people threw passes, and only one of them is a non-quarterback. Only one of them was like an option type play.
Okay.
So,
was Hostetler on this?
No, he's retired by now. Jerry Rice threw one pass because Jerry Rice had come over here at age 41. But Rich Gannon, Rick Meyer, remember him? The guy drafted 2nd overall after Drew Bledsoe that we talked about. He's still playing. He had a 52% completion percentage with 3 touchdowns and 5 picks that year.
God damn it.
Marcus Tuiasosopo.
Tuiasosopo was in this year.
He was playing here. Not very good, though. No touchdowns, 3 picks for him. T. Martin, remember him? The old Tennessee quarterback back then? T-E-E. Tennessee Volunteers, not Titans, I'm talking.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Well, he had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. And then finally, Rob Johnson. Remember him, the Bills quarterback who they gave a bunch of money to and he sucked? He played in 2 games as well, having no touchdowns and 1 pick. Overall,
brutal to watch.
Overall, Raider quarterbacks that year had 9 touchdown passes and 14 interceptions. What a fucking disaster.
How did they win any games?
Right? How do you win when you put up 9 touchdowns over a 16-game season? How do you win? 9 passing touchdowns, and all of those passing touchdowns were between Rich Gannon and Rick Meyer, by the way.
Unreal.
Gannon had 6, Meyer had 3. Otherwise, everybody else just threw picks. That's all they did, man. What a goddamn disgrace. Jerry Rice was 0 for 1 in his 1 attempt, so there you go. Wow.
So you're telling me they started the season with Rich Gannon as their quarterback, and their backup was Rick Meyer?
They went into the season going, we feel good about Rick Meyer as our backup.
Because Rich is going to be fine.
To an older, oft-injured quarterback. We feel like Rick Meyer is the solution to that.
Holy shit.
And they're like, T. Martin's on the waiver wire. Let's go ahead and grab him.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Dana only plays in 8 games and has 0 sacks this year.
Not 1.
Not a goddamn fucking sack. Jerry Rice has more
time, right?
Yeah, Jerry Rice has more attempted passes than he has sacks. So that's When a Hall of Fame wide receiver has more pass attempts than you have sacks in a season, you're fucking up.
And your main job is get sacks.
Just get sacks.
Yeah.
That's it. Stop the run, get sacks.
Throwing passes is the last job that Jerry's going to do.
I don't think he practices that very much, probably. That's not his thing. Especially by 41. By age 41, he's probably, you know what, I've decided I'm not going to ever be a quarterback. I just decided that. We'll work on catching
And at
him.
41, he probably is blocking less than at most of his career, and he still throws less than he blocks.
That's amazing. And also more than Dana Sack's quarterback. So it's not good for anybody around. So he's also kind of has the stink of Balco on him. He's one of those guys. So people are chanting Balco at him, obviously, and all that stuff, which is, unfortunately for the players involved, a very chantable word.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Only 2 syllables.
It's got that Balco.
Yeah, they all go together so nice.
It's just fuck, man. You can really, it's an irritating sound too.
It is,
that just must get in their ears when they're at bat and shit. So he is signed for 2004 though by a team. The New England Patriots decide.
Is that right?
They will they'll go pick anybody up from prison and take them in. The Cowboys get the rap for that, but honestly, the Cowboy players get in trouble while they're Cowboys.
Right.
And then Jerry Jones kind of gets rid of them quietly or whatever. But New England's like, who got arrested today? Is he available? Can we get him?
Is he mad? Let's get him.
I really think they're like, well, his price is going to be as low as possible right now. I feel like that's what it is. Like, we're going to get the best value for our dollar with a guy who's,
it's not just that. It's like if they've got any sort of athletic prowess and they've got a drive to win, they're probably a great bet because they've got a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. It's a genius idea.
It is.
Although I don't know how they maintain being quote unquote clean cut when they have so many fucking criminals.
That's my point. And we mean the image of it. How is it? Well, Belichick runs a clean cut program over there. It's like, does he? Half the team.
Your owner's getting jerked off by girls that got shipped here in a refrarefrigerator box. What the fuck? How do you guys do it?
There's so fucking much going on
magic.
Here. There's so much of it. That's what makes Belichick such a great guy. It's nothing to do with winning Super Bowls. It has to do with how do you maintain the image of this. They almost have like a military image to them. Like they might as well wear camouflage. Like that's how fucking they're looked upon. And not even close. No, they'll sign every fucking prisoner.
Yeah.
And their owner will most certainly be jerked off.
They've argued, by a girl that was shipped in a refrigerator box.
Someone who came over on season 2 of The Wire and is not here voluntarily. This is not good, man.
And somehow they maintain this whole we wear business suits, we're professional football players. No, you're not. You're goddamn criminals that do the worst thing. You arguably have the worst charges of any football team in the NFL. Arguably the worst players.
After Aaron Hernandez, that should have been it, right? Like, that should have been the end of it. Like, you just re-signed that guy. You clearly have no judge of character. You re-signed a guy post-murder. Like, clearly.
And
he still had, they were like, is that a red pen? He's like, no, I got a little something on my hand. Sorry, I smudged that. My bad. Here, I'll sign it in black. He still has blood on his hands, and you're like,
and then after that,
million.
And then after that, your owner's participating in fucking sex trafficking. After that,
it's fucking amazing.
After legitimate murder.
Well, you can add Dana Stubblefield to the list of arrested Patriots because in the summer of 2004, he is charged federally.
Is that right?
For lying, making false statements to federal agents about his use of performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, no.
Not good. Apparently, this is all over the Clear. Now, the Clear was a steroid, an HGH type of thing that was a liquid that you rubbed on.
Right.
That was the whole thing.
Yep.
The Clear. And it was a clear, odorless, fucking colorless liquid that you just rub on rather than taking an oral thing or injecting yourself.
It's like that clear Neosporin that just absorbs into your skin.
Yeah. From what I understand, the Clear was mostly an add-on to, it was a it was a paired with,
booster?
though.
Yeah.
It was it wasn't, most of the people from the document, they all said, I just did the clear, but most of the people, when it came out, the document said that was like in addition to type of shit. Like,
Got it.
they wanted that also. But then when testing started, that's when they started just doing the clear shit, because that was undetectable at the time.
Yeah.
And this stuff, they said he took it orally, so I guess you could drink the clear as well.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's the same formula as the rub-on, but you can drink the clear, because he said orally. And it said Stubblefield admitted that he consumed this substance several times throughout the summer of 2003 as he worked out in preparation for the 2003 NFL season. At the time, Stubblefield took the clear. He knew that it was for a performance-enhancing substance. He also admitted to taking an oxygen-boosting drug called EPO as well. And he said, at Conti's direction, Stubblefield received injections of EPO on several occasions in the summer of 2003 as preparations for the 2003 season. So he is suspended by the NFL in July of 2004 because he lied to federal investigators about something that they don't allow happening in the league anyway.
Right.
And this is like love after lockup. Like, I knew it was a rule. I didn't know it was a law. Like, it's both a rule and a law, this one at the time.
Yeah.
So not good for him at all. He's in a lot of shit now. He's in deep shit. Yeah. It's amazing how it's such deeper shit to lie to somebody about rubbing some shit on your skin than it is to kick your fucking girlfriend in the face 17 days after she gives birth to your daughter. Right. That's way less of a fucking infraction. Is that
after you've
weird?
Already been visited by the police for putting your hands on her? Like, there was double hands on her or feet, whatever. Night. Yeah, in one night, in 45 minutes, and this is more of a charge.
It's crazy. So Dana now, he's suspended.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what to do with himself because he's he's like, I've only been in the league like 11 years. I don't I don't feel done yet. I mean, obviously, I think there's an issue with he's 300 pounds and we don't know how much of that is extra bulk from whatever he's taking or what he's been taking over the years. So that's a thing that teams are concerned about. They're also concerned he's going to have to go to prison from these federal charges against him. So it's difficult. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's sitting there. We got to think about. Imagine you've been playing football since you were like 7,
right?
And now you're like, "Fuck, I'm not even allowed.
Yeah.
I'm not even allowed to play. Never mind if anybody wants me. Like, I'm not even fucking allowed to play. He has no idea what to do." And then a knock at the door.
Oh boy!
It's a knock at the door, and he's like, "What's this? Let's hope it's opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it's opportunity.
Is it Balco?
What is it?" And he opens it. It's better than both of those things.
Yeah.
It's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
CEO and whatever the fuck he is, chairman of the WWE. And he says, "How is it you've come to arrive here? Look at you. Oh, my God. You big, beautiful bastard. No, I don't care. Did you just ask if I oh, Dexter, come in here. What is it, Vince? Oh my God, Jesus, I'm so sorry. Hello, Dana. How are you?
Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry just to interrupt the whole thing. I realize that like Vince is doing his thing right now, but like I'm sorry he's like so exuberant about this. It's kind of embarrassing from my point of view, so I can't imagine how you're feeling right now. So continue. Look at him. He's beautiful. He just asked me. I can't stop laughing about it. He just asked me if it's going to affect anything with me that he's having federal problems for steroids. Does he know who he's talking to? Oh, God, no. Oh, God. Dana, that can only help you here. Come, my son. Let's tell you what. Why don't you get that shirt off? Get that shirt off for me. I got Dexter. Do you have them? Vince, they're hideous. I'm not Dexter, please. Vince, I'm telling you, just Dexter, give them to me.
Yeah.
Fine. Here. Put these on. These are my finest overalls, Dana. I've been saving. I've been saving these for a man like you, Dana. You don't understand. I've been saving them. I said, oh, he's going to come into my life, roided up, willing to kick a nearly pregnant woman in the face. This is the type of This is the man I need. You're going to be the champion, Dana. And then, fine, Dex, I'm going. So we're bye. Let's go now, Vincent. But please, I want to take his shirt, please. Poof, they're gone in a sea of 1099s and feathered boas.
Sweat.
And other people's sweat and tears and blood and effort. So there we go. Vince is gone, and he's like, shit, I needed that. He's got nothing.
Used that career.
Yeah. So in addition to him being suspended, Chris Cooper and Barrett Robbins, as remember, one of our craziest alumni.
Oh man, Barrett is out of his mind,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And Dana Stubblefield all fined 3 game checks for last season. So they're fined a lot, and also suspended from the NFL for testing positive for HGH too. Yeah. See, they tested positive. I'm sorry, for the steroid TGH. I don't know what that is, but they were also placed on reasonable cause testing for the rest of their careers, and will be suspended for 8 games if they test positive for any steroid ever again. They said, wow. This is a lot more than they do for other shit back then. Wow. I guess this was the action was a result of an agreement announced Wednesday by the NFL and the Players Union that has been pending since last October. Cooper and Stubblefield are defensive linemen, blah, blah, blah. Also, Bill Romanowski also tested positive, obviously. Yeah. Although the league...
I don't think that guy ever played a down without something coursing through his veins.
No.
He was a maniac for fucking 13 seasons. Just crazy.
Yeah. Going on pure chemicals.
Yeah.
And chemicals and rage. And he announced his retirement, though, so they're not taking any action on him unless he tries to come back to the league.
I'll bet that's why he left. Thinking about it now, it's probably because they started cracking down on it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he was about to be just a very mediocre player.
Yeah, I mean, he was banged up and old and shit, too,
sure.
But I mean... He had a lot of problems, too, because, I mean, he had federal issues as well with all the drugs and his wife and all that shit. So there was a problem. Stubblefield and Cooper, along with teammates Tyrone Wheatley, remember him, running back? Remember him on Michigan, and Chris Hetherington, a fullback, all appeared before the grand jury investigating Balco. Obviously, the league said these 4 guys were the only positive samples in 1,700 retests of every sample taken before last October 6th.
And they all play together.
And they all play in the same team in the same area. The league also said there were no positive samples in more than 4,000 tests since that date.
Wow.
You're telling me not one fucking NFL guy was on detectable shit? Did they just all switch to
4 dudes playing for Oakland?
Yeah, they just all switched to HGH.
Yeah.
So July 19th, 2008, this drags on till.
Wow.
4 fucking years of this.
Jesus.
He decides to plead guilty.
Uh-huh.
And Barry Bonds' lawyer, Michael Raines, he said that he doesn't understand that. He goes, quote, he's pleading guilty. I don't know why he would do that.
We're going to get out of this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to fight this shit forever.
I'm going to do my best to get Barry in the Hall of Fame. That didn't work out.
Yeah, not quite. So federal prosecutors said Stubblefield turned over the names of the players, agents, and trainers that he suspected of drug use to federal investigators and NFL officials.
Dana!
Full cooperation, Sammy the Bull fucking rat on
full rat. Dana.
Not people he has sold steroids to or saw him at the clinic. People he suspected of.
Holy shit.
You got to go, Dan, did I take my shirt off in front of Dana and did he comment that my pecs were looking pretty solid today? Fuck, I'm going to get investigated by the goddamn federal government, not the fucking...
Dana, you asshole.
He not only told federal investigators, NFL officials as well.
What the fuck, man?
He's going around making secret fucking lists.
Saving his own ass.
Oh, my God, man.
What a piece of shit.
Wow. What a
fucking jerk, man.
Oh, man. Like, it would be one thing if it's like, these are the guys I've personally injected into their asses. Like, Canseco said, I've injected Mark McGwire. That's a different thing. This is people he's like, that guy looks pretty big this year.
Did he at least put their names together that rhymed for the singing? Because he certainly is singing like a son of a bitch. He needs to sit the fuck down and shut up.
I hope they added singing to the Nutcracker for him this year because he's
a singing son of a bitch.
He is going to be the star. He's going to have an aria right in the middle of it.
Holy shit.
Whoa. This is a whole opera, man. He's sang a whole opera. Holy
Try
shit.
out for American Idol, Dana, because you're singing.
Oh, man, that is wild. So he pleads guilty to lying to investigators in the Balco steroid case, making him the first football player charged in the investigation for it to be done. The charges, which were unsealed, alleged that Stubblefield lied to an IRS agent when he said he had not used steroids linked to the Balco place there, and denied receiving performance enhancers from Balco founder Victor Conti. So you can't do that.
You can't tell an IRS agent that you didn't?
No, because the IRS was investigating Balco for their tax evasion on that. So, yeah. No, if an IRS...
So it's sworn testimony.
Yeah, if an IRS agent shows up at your house and it's one of the ones that have a gun, you fucking say you don't lie to that person. You will go to jail. You start giving names up of people that you think might be doing shit that you don't know.
If you've gotten that far with the IRS that one of them's got a gun and talking to you, it's already a mess for you.
Yeah, you're like, "Where's your adding machine?" They're like, "No, that's not mine. I'm not that."
We're
division.
beyond that.
We're well beyond that.
Math's already been done.
Those nerds sent me here. Get it?
The mathlete sent a guy with a gun.
They figure it out. Then they send Jack Sexton.
Right.
I don't even remember what fucking episode. That was a Small Town Murder, but
it probably
they
was.
sent Jack Sexton.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The IRS agent.
Sexiest son of a bitch on earth.
Jack Sexton, field agent.
He fucks your car.
He'll fuck the gas tank. He doesn't care. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what ends up happening. The plea deal calls for him to spend somewhere between 0 and 6 months in prison, which is okay. Though the judge said she's not bound by that agreement and can sentence him to up to 5 years if she wants to.
0 to 6 months, or at my discretion, up to 5 years.
Yeah, judge said that's all nice that you guys worked all that out, but you weren't. I didn't say I agreed to that.
If I want
shit.
to, I can multiply that by 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So Stubblefield and his attorney, Mike Armstrong, which was, did you ever watch Arliss back in the day?
I did. I loved that show.
That was the older agent that was always fucking Arliss over.
Really?
Was always like laughing at him, like calling him small time. His name was Mike Armstrong on the show. I don't know if that's a relation to this guy's attorney or what. If he's like a sports attorney, I'm not sure. But
what's that guy's name that played him? He's so fucking funny.
Fuck my life. What is his name?
He is so fucking funny.
He's great, and I can't think of his fucking. God damn it.
He was on a TV show before that, right?
Yes.
Yes. His name is Arliss Michaels. That was the name. His name is Robert Wool.
No, Robert Wool. Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy who played Mike Armstrong.
No, Robert Wool.
Oh, yeah, Robert Wool. I know about, yeah. Robert Wool had that. He's in movies. He was in Bull Durham, for Christ's sake. He's one of the coaches.
Yeah.
He's
so
on
great.
fucking, he had that HBO special where he does history in a funny way, that shit. Yeah, no, Robert Wool, we know. I was
John
trying to
Riley
remember.
is Mike Armstrong on the show.
John
Riley.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know his name, but fucking Arliss is, what a great show.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's good. Like not a good show, but it's a great show.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not
I don't watch it and
it's
go,
the
this
writing.
is quality television.
The script is fantastic.
This is crap that I need right at this
Yes.
moment. This is the crap I need now.
It's why you watch a movie with Jay Leno and Pat Morita.
Okay, full disclosure. 3 a.m. last night, I sent Jimmy a screenshot of Collision Course, which is a movie starring Jay Leno and Pat Morita.
It's a buddy cop.
A buddy cop, and they're like handcuffed together with their fists up, and like Jay's got this look on his face like, I'm all handcuffed, I don't know.
It's from 1992.
That's when they re-released it because of his Tonight Show thing. I looked it up. It's from 89. That's why it looks so shitty.
That's why I was like, because when you said it early 90s, I was like, I swear I've seen that so much earlier than that.
Yeah, it's 89. It was like direct-to-video probably or some shit.
Probably.
Or, one of those was on HBO.
It was on HBO and Showtime fucking all the time. All the time.
Yeah, just pile of shit. So we were watching this pile of shit, and I was sending him videos from it. And it's Jay Leno is embarrassing as an actor. Like, it's bad, dude.
How many times do they say the racist Japanese word?
I don't know if it's more offensive to Japanese people or just my sensibilities having to watch Jay Leno pretend to be a human. But out of the both of them, my head is fucking flooded with shit I don't know how
Doesn't
to
it feel like that movie was like a passion project for Jay to make himself a star and mix cars into it?
Yeah. Like, oh, I could drive my car. I think that was his idea, though. He was like, you know, I got a lot of cars. You know, I could bring a car in. I got a 62 Vet that's going to be it's going to be a good one. You know, we should put that in there. And, you know, maybe if I'm eating like some Doritos out of the front seat, we might be able to get a couple bucks from the Dorito people. Those Frito-Lay people, those are deep pockets, let me tell you, full of corn chips. All right, buddy? Yeah, all right.
I'm going to watch it again because you watched it. I haven't seen it since I was a child, but I know that it's a piece of shit because when I was a kid, my stepfather made me watch, I realize now today that if my stepfather hated something, it's fucking awesome. And that if he loved it, it's a piece of shit.
That's what you know.
I know that for facts. And he loved that movie, and I've watched it so many times.
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm going to watch it again because I know, and as a kid, it made me uncomfortable. The racist jokes that were in it and the
wild,
slurs. Man. It was so, I was like, is this okay? This is okay, huh? This is what we're watching.
It's attempted white Beverly Hills Cop, and it's not good. It's bad.
It's not good at all.
Jay Leno, let's just say, doesn't have quite the charisma of Eddie Murphy. Let's just put it that way. I've never said anything to say, like, to put it mildly, and meant it any more than that. Like, to put it at bare minimum, Jay Leno doesn't have the cinematic charisma of Eddie Murphy. That's good right there. Let's just leave it at that.
That's as succinct as you can boil that piece of shit down to.
Oh, that's amazing. So, Dana's pleading guilty. Okay, that's where we were. Dana's pleading guilty. While he's pleading, he says, quote, I falsely made statements about EPO and the clear and falsely stated receiving the goods from Balco, is what he said in front of the judge. The judge says, whether you like the sentence or not, you won't be able to appeal my sentence and you won't be able to change your guilty plea. That's part of the deal. Yeah. So then she says, would you like to say anything before I sentence you?
What do you say, Dana?
No, thanks. No. I'm good, thanks. She says, you, sir, may fuck off 2 years.
Oh, for
probation.
Oh.
2 years probation and a $5,000 fine, mister. Yeah. Don't you do that again. Yeah. She said the sentence was warranted. That light sentence was warranted, the judge said, because of how, quote, extremely cooperative Dana was with investigators after he was charged.
How much work he's given my officers. They're going to be busy for the next 10 years.
He flipped on everybody. It's amazing. It's incredible. So by now he's divorced from Kim. That's over. He's now has a fiance named Melanie Wade, who is standing by his side as he's sentenced. Boy, she's right there for him. Mm-hmm. They asked her about it, and later she said, quote, it was hard for him. He was depressed about it. It was hard for him to leave his house when he had to admit that. Okay. So such a hard thing. So 2009, he's a coach for the San Jose Valley Christian High School, a defensive line coach for them.
Christian school. You got a liar over there.
Oh, it gets better. Or worse,
you have
however
a convicted liar right there.
Kids, let me tell you about lying. It works well. Let me tell you something. If you lie,
so what you'll lie, and then you'll tell a shitload of truth.
What you do is you lie first, and that's bad, but then you make up for it by betraying all your friends. That's what you do. By betraying other people's confidences, that makes it all better then. Then the Lord will love you.
Yeah. Get you right back in his favor.
Jesus wants you to be a liar and a rat. Both. Is what Jesus is looking for.
All rats go to heaven, you guys.
You know how that works, right? That's how the saying goes, isn't it? So he's coaching there. During 2009, his fiance, Melanie Wade, contacts the news because we'll go back in time to tell you why, but she contacts the local news and says, quote, I'm very scared of this guy, meaning Dana.
Really?
Quote, that's my main reason for coming to you guys and writing that letter, because she wrote them a letter. Now, this all started about a month before this incident, when 4 days before the wedding, she broke up with him.
Oh.
Okay, 4 days before the wedding, she breaks up with him. She says she tried to leave him several times, but he's, as we know, he's pretty controlling, as we've found earlier. So she said she couldn't. And then finally, 4 days before the wedding, she's like, holy shit, I'm going to be married to this guy in 4 days. I'm getting out of this.
That's forever. Yeah.
So she got out of there. Good for her. So she gets out. She said it was hard for him when she left him for good. He kind of went spiraling out of control. So she'll later get a restraining order. And in her application for the restraining order, she says that Stubblefield would call 50 times a day or more, her phone, and always leaving long, rambling messages as well.
No, the worst.
Yeah. I know you're an angel, he says in one of them, and I know you're here for me in my life for a good reason. You're my angel. You got to come back. Blah, blah, blah. I can't fuck it. Yeah, this is not
the worst ones. It's just conversation starters. That's what he's trying to do, is to rope her into talk.
It's called, with con men, it's called, the cops call it love bombing, or psychologists, what they'll do, they'll call it love bombing. This is it's like what they do when they try to get you in a cult or a multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
You're so brilliant. You're so great. You're so this. You're so amazing. You're so amazing.
Right.
And try to get you in the door. Now, she says, conversely, quote, he would lock me in and not let me leave the house and tell me threats like, quote, I'm not done with you till you're 6 feet under.
Well,
that's a bad one.
Jesus.
And like, quote, I'm the only man you're ever going to be with. Things like that. Now, if you say, that can go either way. I'm the only man you're ever going to be with. If you said that in a kind, loving moment, and you're like, I'm the only man you're ever going to be with, like, I'll always be here for you, that would be nice. But if you're like, I'm the only man you're ever going to fucking be with, it's got a different fucking
you got to say
it.
it in a suit while she's in a white dress, and both your families are on either sides of pews.
Or while you're both holding up a glass of wine over candlelight or something, maybe that's a nice thing. Or, after you just got done fucking, maybe. But if bitch is at the beginning of it or after it, and you're not in the middle of sex,
right?
Maybe she wants to be called bitch in the sack. You don't fucking know. We can't judge people's sexual shit.
Hands around her throat, pointing at her face, shit like that.
That might be how she comes. We don't know that, so we're not going to judge her for that. Let's be fucking clear here. So, she said that the relationship began to fall apart after he admitted to lying about his steroid use. That became when he really started going over the top. She said that he provided the names of players and trainers and everybody else and all this type of shit and helped with illegal drugs in professional football. She said she broke up with him, though. He kept calling her. She didn't get a restraining order until August 5th, so it went on for like a month of him calling her constantly. And then she said, I'm fearful for my life because during the phone calls, Dana continuously threatened me with physical violence and death.
Continuously.
So you're my angel, and if you don't come back to me, I'm going to kill you and rip your wings off and
if
spike you.
I can't have you, nobody can.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
So she reported the threats to the police and also told police that Stubblefield forged her signature on a change of address form so the Postal Service would deliver her mail to his house.
Oh, that's awful.
Dude, that is sick. That's some
federal
weird
crimes too, right?
Who wants more mail, number one, of anybody's? I don't want anybody's fucking mail. Number two, that's some weird controlling shit. I'm going to find out what your electric bill is. Who cares? The fuck are you finding out with mail? By the way, this included her unemployment checks. So she just stopped getting mail and her unemployment checks. It was like, what the fuck?
Where's my money? Yeah.
So this is not good, man. She reported reports all this shit. Now the judge, with the restraining order, granted the request for a restraining order that requires him to keep 300 feet away from her or 30 feet away when they're both attending services at the church they both go to. So you can't sit in the same row or anything. The court files show that a follow-up hearing was scheduled again, at which time the judge would decide whether the order should remain in effect for a long time. Mm-hmm. She called him in the restraining order violent and unpredictable. In one story, we'll get into the details of it, but she has to give examples. One is that he tried to knock her off her bicycle with his SUV. That's wow.
That's not trying to knock somebody. That's trying to kill somebody.
It is.
What else do you do that for?
dude, you're on a bicycle.
Right.
You're in an SUV. It's not like you're driving a Fiat and you're trying to make a
murder.
joke.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. That's very dangerous, I would say. I mean, fuck. It's an SUV, man. Like, it's not. It's a giant truck. I can't even get words out over this. Like, I'm imagining riding a bike down the street and having somebody trying to hit me with a fucking Lincoln Navigator.
Right.
And it's fucking crazy. Get your Tahoe away from me. I'm riding my fucking Huffy over here.
And how is that not grounds for a phone call from Belichick?
Yeah. Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
I know you're drafted about 15 years ago, and you're probably getting a little bit old, but we're thinking you got a lot of life left in you. We saw
you
your
get some
chase with the
aggression?
bicycle, and we feel like you really want it. You're willing to do anything for that violence. So she then said she reported it to the TV station because she was worried that the authorities weren't doing anything to protect her. And based on his history, this is a warranted thought.
Right.
Hey, maybe they won't do shit for this. So she contacted the TV station, she said, to put pressure on the police to keep him the fuck away from her.
That was the whole public, right? And
because now
the public's not safe.
Because now, if 2 days later there's a story on the news saying that this woman was killed by him, cops are going to look bad. It's just period, and the courts are going to look bad.
The news loves this kind of thing. That's a fresh story that's got legs.
And we told you first.
We reported it first.
So she's painted a picture of Stubblefield here that says, well, the lock me in the house, 6 feet under. Then here's June 2008. So this is a month before she actually broke up with him. This is what happened here. Quote, he was running me off the road. It was almost like a horror movie, she said. She was a personal trainer. She said she left work about 11 p.m. one night last year, and Stubblefield was waiting for her in his car.
Wow.
She rides her bike to work. She said, quote, I was on my bicycle and I told him to leave and leave me alone, and he was really irate. He wasn't leaving, so he followed me home. She said she turned down a darkened road to escape, but he followed her in his Chevy Suburban.
Jesus.
Quote, and he bumped me off my bike and I went forward and I got cut up and bruises and got back on my bike and continued to go home. So he knocked her off actually once, which is attempted murder right there.
Yeah.
She said when she finally got back to her apartment, she said he was already there waiting for her, which is frightening.
Yeah, Suburbans are faster than bikes.
Usually, especially if you have to pick rocks out of your fucking hair and get back on your bike.
No matter how scared you are, you can't pedal a bike faster than a Suburban.
No shit. She said that he's already there, so what she did to get him away, quote, and so I got this big rock and threw it at the truck and ran into my apartment.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she said, and he just waited out there like a shark in the water. And then she goes on to say, this is her mother now talking. Kelly, her mother, said, quote, and then there was a big pounding on the door. She said, and I told him that she wasn't there. And he said that he has someone that's going to go after Melanie, and Melanie better watch her back.
What the fuck?
Says that's to her mom.
Can't do that.
That is crazy. This obviously is in the restraining order and all that. He's 6'2", 300 pounds.
She's not.
She's not at all like that. She said 3 months after that, he chased her after an argument and then physically wrestled with her in an attempt to take away some personal items that she said belonged to her.
Wow.
So this isn't good at all, obviously. The mother also says she's witnessed plenty of things about Dana going after the daughter, going after Melanie. So then she says that she's talking about the restraining order and the things she listed. She said, it's a listing of like the day I went to the post office and I saw that my mail was being stolen, and the day of the police report of the forgery and the stolen mail. She said that he went to the post office, forged her signature on a change of address form, had her shit forwarded to his house. She said about her bank statements, all of my accounts, every single one, he went online and logged in like it's me, and he created passwords, so I couldn't even get into my accounts online.
What the fuck, man?
Dude, she took him out of everything. She said, quote, this is a legal analyst here for the news station. If you're changing someone else's mailing address to come to your house and they haven't approved it and that's not their mailing address, then you're submitting a false document to postal officials. It's a federal crime.
Yeah.
So, she said she's afraid for herself, but she said at this point she's also afraid for the students that Stubblefield comes in contact with at Valley Christian High School because he's still a coach there.
Unbelievable.
Still a coach. She said, and I feel like those kids are at risk because they spend so much time with this animal. And I really feel like he's an animal. I mean, he loses it. He has no sense of right and wrong. He rages. He sees red. You know, like people that take a lot of steroids for fucking years and years. He said, and hit their fucking heads all the goddamn time. Right. Asked what she wants now, she said, quote, just peace and quiet. I just want to be left alone, and I just want this all to be over with. She's getting help from the Crime Victims Program to relocate to a new home where she hopes Stubblefield can't find her. Jeez, tracking her down like she's Steve Young's little brother or something.
She's trying to run and be in the fucking protection program.
Yeah, she said she's going back to court to try to extend the restraining order to 5 years.
Good, yeah.
She, in an email, Stubblefield's attorney said, quote, we deny the allegations contained in the restraining order request, but in the interests of privacy and closure, we decline to make a statement. The school makes a statement, though, after all this. Oh, yeah. This is head football coach Mike Machado at Valley Christian. Yeah. He said, and I quote, he has my full support.
Oh, boy.
Wow. You know, it's really, really awesome to teach the kids about responsibility.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for as a high school coach.
We
Thanks.
said Dana's stalking her. Like, he's literal. He's a menace to this woman.
He hit her
what
with
do you
a
have
bike.
to say?
He has my full support. That's what I have to say. Then he says that he hadn't seen the television report and doesn't know a lot about or couldn't comment on Wade's allegations here either. That's Melanie Wade. She said, he said, all I know is he's been with us 4 years now, and all I've seen Dana do is be a good role model and a positive influence on our kids.
You idiot.
Until now, stupid.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ, Mike Machado. You fucking, God damn it. I hate to attack a high school football coach, but for fuck's sake, dude.
This is why you're not coaching higher.
God damn it, man. Yeah, or
That's
this is
common sense.
If he could be on the fast track to the NFL with that attitude. Fuck.
What
He's
year
learning.
is this, though?
Somewhere 2010?
Yeah, you can't say that in 2010.
Fuck no. That's what I mean.
No.
Somewhere there's an NFL owner like going, yes,
Mr.
petting his
Burns
cat.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
Say less.
Say less. So guess what, though? He gets charged federally for stealing mail.
He has my full support.
My full support.
I'll bet that guy regrets saying that.
Quote, he has my full support. How many people on earth, without knowing all the facts of something, would you say they have my full support? That you would trust that they didn't do something horrible enough to violate that support? Like, honestly.
Literally one. You're in. That's it.
I don't have a lot of people I would say.
And even then, it would end up being like, they would say, James was in Tennessee where weed is not legal and he has shit piles of it. I'd be like, he has my full support.
Yeah, he has my full support.
Full support. That's crazy. I don't know why they have those laws.
Let's get him out of Tennessee. Let's just get him out of there to somewhere with fucking legal weed. And
let's put him back in New York. Everything's fine.
You don't expect me to run women off the fucking road with an SUV that I don't
see you changing people's mailing address.
No,
that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of time.
Sounds exhausting.
It really is exhausting. And apparently, defensive line coach for a high school football team isn't a very demanding job, I'm finding out. You got a lot of free time to fucking change forms.
Yeah, you go to make multiple trips to the mailbox. And,
it's a lot.
Fucking running people over, all kind of time.
He had to get the right form. That's a lot. So, full support. Good role model. That's what he says. So, here we go. Anyway, he gets arrested for that. He has to plead guilty to it because he did it. I mean,
there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do about it. He had the shit go to his house. Like, it's not like he had to go to a P.O. box and he just said, bring it right to my house.
You're a dress, man.
So keep in mind all the things he's done so far. Violence, kicking, bicycle, all this shit.
Federal
steroids,
crimes.
Federal crimes.
Yeah.
You, sir, may fuck off 90 days in jail. He actually goes to jail for the mail thing out of everything. That's wild. So
you got to assume that's just because shit stacked up, right? You do that once with some mail and fuck around a little bit, they're going to give you probation.
He's already on federal probation.
Yeah, right. That's why they got it.
Yeah, he's on federal probation for fucking, you can't do that. So not good. February of 2016, his wife, Terry, by the way, here, this is 2016, so we're 6 years later. Okay. His wife, Terry, files divorce documents in Santa Clara County Family Court on February 29, 2016, trying to end... Yeah, weed day. Trying to end her...
Day.
Leap, I know. Leap, I said, weed day. Then I was like, it's not weed day. Then I was like, leap day.
Every day's weed day.
Every day's weed day. Yay. So she's seeking to end the marriage to him. It's been about 6 years, ever since the Melanie Wade incident. Like, he must have got engaged to her immediately. So, she lists the date of separation as February 17th, 2016. They have 2 children together, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. No word on how he did with the late night feedings here, but 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. She has asked for full legal and physical custody, with Dana getting visitation rights, and she's also requested spousal support, obviously. So, he's done a lot of bad shit to people, and
he's a pretty bad dude.
Pretty bad guy, and being married to him for 6 years sounds like it's pretty bad.
Sounds like she's earned her.
Yeah. I feel there's a lot of people I feel bad for in this case, Jimmy. Like, he's left a trail of people I feel bad for.
Has.
Starting with Steve Young's brother and ending with his wife and his girlfriends and everything else.
Yeah.
I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy.
Yeah, me too.
But not nearly as bad as I feel for Dana Stubblefield.
No.
Oh, yeah. Recruiting program manager in San Francisco, California, Jimmy.
That.
Oh, God, that poor bastard. Dana Stubblefield, student at Sam Houston University. And she's a young lady, of course, as well. Yeah. So that's what you're going to get here. She's open to work for intern roles as well. She's looking for internships and plans to become a valuable member through dedicated service and utilizing her abilities to bring an optimistic attitude to the workplace and improve my skills for the long run.
Okay.
Sounds like a good attitude. Someone hire this poor young lady who's got strapped with the name Dana fucking Stubblefield to their place, please.
She's so young, her parents had to know.
Oh, I know, right? They had to. He was around. Dana Stubblefield, I don't know what they do, but they went to California State University, Dominguez Hills, and they live in Washington, D.C. And finally, Dana Stubblefield, Oakland, California. It's our Dana.
Is it?
San Francisco 49ers, University of Kansas.
Yeah.
He hasn't posted lately, and we'll tell you why he hasn't posted lately in a few minutes here. He says, what is he doing? Quote, looking for new opportunities.
He's homeless? He's
no, just looking for, that's what that means, Jimmy. Yeah. Well, you know the opportunities he found?
What?
In May 2016, he's charged with raping a developmentally disabled woman.
No.
Oh, yeah. That's his new opportunity that he found.
He got a divorce and went to raping women with disabilities.
No, that was before he got divorced. This happened in 2015. His wife filed for divorce in 2016.
That's why she divorced him.
But
Holy shit.
The police didn't approach him until March. So the police didn't approach. So I don't know if she just, I feel like if you have a rapey kind of guy, maybe you know that shit. Maybe she just had a hunch. Maybe like if you're married to a guy who's capable of being charged with raping a developmentally disabled woman, maybe you feel that in the back of your spine, you tingle like Spider-Man.
This is athlete number 2 who has done this.
Oh, he's Hollywood Henderson's.
Wow.
His idol always Hollywood Henderson.
What the fuck, man?
Let's see what he did here. According to the charges, a young woman went to his home in Morgan Hill to interview for a job as a nanny.
Oh, boy.
And he is charged from this with 5 felony counts related to the alleged assault. He faces, if convicted of all these, a substantial prison sentence, it says here.
You would say 20 to life, right?
You would imagine. The Deputy District Attorney, Tim McHenry, he said that it kind of looks like McHenry. It's probably McHenry. This was a crime of violence against a vulnerable victim. She was looking for a job and she was unconscionably assaulted.
God damn it.
Let's see here. His attorney, on the other hand, Ken Rosenfeld, said that Stubblefield called the allegations false and fraudulent. And in a statement, the lawyer said that Stubblefield and the woman had consensual sex, and then she asked him for a job and money afterward.
No.
When you hear is right. Stubblefield was released on $250,000 bail after this. We don't know if that's the cause for divorce or what, but the incident went down with the babysitter, or we'll find out, attempted babysitter, in April of 2015.
Okay.
And he wasn't contacted by investigators till March of 2016, but they had been broken up, him and his wife, since February 17th, 2016. So,
okay.
Like I said, I don't know if she put her ear to the fucking ground and felt the herd rumbling, you know what I mean? Like, might have had some shit like that going on.
Maybe there was some helicopters.
I feel it.
Knew. Yeah.
She put her hand on the train track and she was like, soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Rape charges on their way.
It's coming. It's 2 stops over. They're 2 stops away. It'll be here soon. So what happened, you might be asking? Well, he apparently was looking for a babysitter. At least that's the ruse that he was playing on this whole deal here. He contacted a 31-year-old woman. We're not going to use her name in here. She and many other people have gone to lengths to not use her name. She didn't want it out there, and people have put it out there anyway. But I'm not going to use it. So
don't search it.
No, why would you want? What do you care? You don't know her,
right? Wait, why would you give a fuck?
Yeah, if you knew her, she wanted you to know, she'd tell you Dana Stubblefield raped me. But otherwise, what do you care?
Right.
So
Eat your lunch. Put your phone down.
She's not famous. She's a normal person who got a horrible thing happen. Yeah. So officials said she had a severe speech impediment as well. He contacted her through Sitter City, which is a babysitter finder site. Basically, I hope they don't try to sponsor us now. They're going to, well, we've lost that sponsorship definitely here. To see if she was interested in a job as a nanny. They set up an interview for the next day at his home. So he contacted her, saw your profile on there, got this nanny job, you want to come by for an interview. Interview lasted about 20 minutes, apparently, and then the woman left. Apparently, a few minutes later, she was, driving away from the house, she received a text message from Stubblefield saying that he felt bad that she came all the way over there. It was far from her house.
Oh, boy.
And said that he wanted to pay her for her time that day since she drove all the way here and all that. He felt bad, he said.
Inconvenience.
So, yeah, why don't you come back? I'll pay you for your time. I feel terrible. So she said, okay. So she went back to the house, to get her money. And apparently at that point, Stubblefield picked her up. She's a small woman, by the way, thin, and he's 300 pounds. Picked her up and carried her to a room and then raped her and forced her to, quote, orally copulate him.
Yikes.
So there you go. That's the court document saying that. That's the quote from that. Then he gave her $80 and told her she could go.
Oh, gross. Just like the stereotypical clean yourself up.
Threw 420s at her and was like, there you go, sweetheart. Yeah.
Good grief.
See you later. So she left. So that is wild.
What a horrifying experience.
That sounds horrible. She drove directly from Dana Stubblefield's house to the Morgan Hill Police Department and reported being assaulted by a man named Dana. She didn't know who he was, by the way, too. That's the other thing. She doesn't know dick about football, and we'll find out she's got a couple of problems, this lady. So DNA evidence matched Stubblefield as well later on the testing. So he's charged with rape of a victim incapable of giving consent, oral copulation with a victim incapable of giving consent, and false imprisonment.
Wow.
Those are terrible charges.
Yeah.
Terrible charges. By the way, did it at gunpoint.
What?
Allegation as well, too. Oh, yeah, pulled a gun on her, then picked her up, took her in there. Yeah, that's the allegation here. So, not a good one at all.
No.
He, at gunpoint, took a developmentally disabled woman to his room and raped her and then gave her $80. Is not a good fucking story at all. God. That sounds terrible. I mean, I don't think. And the high school, Mike Machado, the high school coach, said, quote, he has my full support. Wait, I didn't hear the story yet. Is it bad? Shit, never mind. Sorry,
the
Mike
lying
Machado.
bit, yeah, I support him.
Yeah, just the lying, not the raping though. We're gonna have to talk to him about that. I'll be honest with you.
Seems like it goes against the Bible.
Stubblefield's attorney said the sex is consensual and that his client is being unfairly targeted by the state because of his wealth and celebrity.
Dog, the charge is incapable of consent. How can wow, what an argument. No, man, she said yes.
She said it's cool. Stubblefield provided prosecutors he didn't take a lie detector at the with the prosecutors.
Yeah.
He did a third-party lie detector that he hired.
Yeah.
And then brought them the results and was like, "See, I'm not lying." That he paid himself.
Yeah, I put my arm in that thing at Walgreens and then had people ask me questions.
Yeah, that's what he did. He said, "See, look at that. This lady at Walgreens, she said, you seem like you're telling the truth to me. That's good enough for..."
Said I have great blood pressure.
He said that the lie detector proved that it was consensual, including proof that the woman asked him for a job and money afterwards. It's all right there in the lie detector test. So the reaction of it, Stephen E. McMinn, Valley Christian School's chief operating officer, said, "Stubblefield hasn't worked here in 6.5 years. Fuck, please don't talk to me about this." That's pretty much what he said.
I have no comment.
He said that Stubblefield tried to come back to Valley Christian in 2014, but did not complete the application process, so we didn't hire him. He said, "We're all saddened by the recent news regarding Dana and are all praying for all concerned." So, his lawyer, the prosecutor, one of Stubblefield's main points of contention is, well, they didn't charge me for like a year.
So what?
So, yeah, that doesn't matter.
There's no statute of limitations on rape, dog. What are you talking about?
Well, even if there are, it's not a year. It might be 20 years, but it ain't a year. This is I love when people use this as a defense, either the shortness of the investigation or the length of the investigation as a defense. Is there evidence? I don't care if it took a year, a day, or 10 years to get it. Is there evidence? Yeah, people, if it's a short investigation, are like, they barely looked into it. If it's a long investigation, are like, they needed that long to find it.
Clearly, we're building it.
Or they realize that you've gotten off before, you're going to have a good attorney, and they better get their fucking ducks in a row before they charge you. That's probably it. They've seen OJ, and they get how it goes. So, when you charge a famous fucking athlete who's got a lot of money and who is beloved in the area.
Dead-ass serious charge, Jesus.
Yeah. So the prosecutor said, "We feel that these are important cases for us to get right. We understand the ramifications both to the victim and the suspect. This is a case that it took what it took for us to file charges this week. We take all these cases very seriously, especially sexual assault." This is the time when the kicking incident from 1996 comes out, because now they get the old civil documents and the police reports from that, and it comes out here. So, that's not good at all. That looks real bad for him. So the attorney said, quote, these allegations are 20 years old and were never criminally charged. Dana Stubblefield did not perform the abhorrent act described in the police report and was never even arrested, let alone charged with any crime related to it. Okay. This appears to be more attempts to smear the character of Dana Stubblefield so he cannot get a fair hearing and defend himself against his current charges. It's wrong and should stop immediately.
Jesus. The man's charged with rape, man. What do you...
Wow. And he said to the cops, "I kicked her to get her away from the baby." That's in the police report. Right. I kicked her. So, and then he signed it. What the fuck do you want? So anyway, Dana holds a press conference now. He's got let's calm it all down now.
I need to talk to the public.
He holds a news conference at the Jubilee Christian Center in San Jose, where he's a member of the congregation. He defended himself against the charges. He said, quote, what do we need right here, Jimmy? It's gotta be. Gotta be in their own words. You fucking dildo. Let's hear what you have to say in a church about rape. In their own words, quote, I am here to state without any reservation that I am completely innocent of all these allegations. I have worked my whole career to be a part of the Bay Area community, and I have worked in several communities and charities within the church. This is an issue that is very close to me. One of my primary charities is the Special Olympics, something that is true and dear to my heart. This is why these allegations hurt me so badly. However, the allegations against me coming a year after a consensual encounter with another woman are all totally false.
That sounds awful.
Oh, that sounds gross. I like those little fucking whatever you want to call them.
I jerk off to those hot bastards all the time. I would never rape them.
That's right. I don't rape them. I make them money. That's what I do.
Wow.
So the DA here, Jesus Christ, they're accusing, they want the defense wants the DAs to recuse themselves. They get off the case. They accuse them of targeting the football player to raise their own political profiles, and they, quote, soundly reject the prosecutor's portrayal of the alleged victim as developmentally delayed. They're saying
she's just fine.
She's fine and she liked it. That's their defense. She's fine and she liked it. So you don't only have to prove that it wasn't fucking rape, but then you also have to prove that she's pretty bright.
Yeah, she can consent.
She's got all sorts of, her whatever
the
about
faculties
her.
are clearly not there. If they would not put that charge on there if they were.
This attorney went on to say they described the alleged victim yesterday as disabled to sensationalize the case. Wow. Okay. So they said that she does receive receives services from the California Department of Developmental Services.
Yeah, is she paid disability? Then that girl is developmentally disabled. For Christ's sake, it's that easy.
She is diagnosed by the California Department of Developmental Services as developmentally disabled and has received services from the agency which operates here. Eligibility for such services require a recipient has a condition which predates adulthood and qualifies as a substantial disability.
Yeah.
Mentally, that's what you have to have. So the profile, though, they say... by the way, the profile of her, this is from the article here. They're talking about her profiles on the babysitting site on Facebook and stuff, because they try to say their whole defense is we should be allowed to call her a whore. That's the defense. So
she's out there on Facebook. What'd you think was going to happen?
On her profile, she said that she's 32 years old with 29 years of paid experience as a babysitter.
Okay.
So that says something there. Plus, here's what she wrote in the bio section. Quote, okay, this is for sittercity.com. Quote, and I'm just going to use the words. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just reading exactly how she wrote it. I like walking with a dog and kids. I like Zumba. I need a job. I need payment, doctor, dentist, sick, gas, phone, tax, light. I'm learning a Zumba. I want to be a Zumba job. I like mall and nice restaurant.
You can't have sex with that person.
Nope.
You can't. No.
You can't.
No, that's illegal.
That paragraph says, nope, done.
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
Yeah,
there was that Love on the Spectrum show. Yes, a girl talks like that on that show, and they allow a boy to kiss her, and it is so fucking uncomfortable. I can't be a part of that.
Unless she says I like mall and nice restaurant, and he says I like mall and nice restaurant too. Then kiss away. Other than that, if you don't realize that's a problem, then you can't fuck her.
No.
Or if you do realize that's a problem, you can't fuck her. That's
even
the thing.
At 32, if that's the words she's putting on the internet, you can't sleep with that person.
Looking for a job. Yeah, she's obviously has some problems. And we're not making fun of her. We're making fun of the fact that they're like, she's fine. No,
she's not.
They also included the About Me section of her Facebook profile. This is Stubblefield's attorneys, so this is not helping them here. It says, under work and education, she lists, quote, I fuller feeling lose weight.
All right. That doesn't even
feeling lose weight.
That doesn't even answer the question. No, you can't do this.
Under places she's lived, she wrote, quote, "Be sexy, dress nice, dress up."
That's not a place.
That's not a place.
No.
Under contact and basic info,
Yep.
she wrote, quote, "DJ, sexy, drunk, Zumba, dance and exercise, sometime had fun."
Oh, no.
And then under family and relationships, she wrote, quote, "No money, gas."
Yep. She's just filling in spots. She's just telling you what she likes and what she needs, and apropos of no question.
Yeah.
Just putting it out.
That's
you can't sleep with that person. You can't.
Fucking wild. Now, or as Stubblefield's defense team puts it, competent.
Yeah.
This is wild. So then more detail comes out here. They're saying, they had just moved into that house with his wife and small children there. That's what ended up happening. Yeah. So Dana's best defense is a strong offense in his mind, and that is attack the victim. So his lawyer says, quote, "This is nothing but a money grab, an attempt to get money and take advantage of his celebrity status to sensationalize this case and arrest somebody of notoriety." The defense team gave reporters papers they contend shows online profiles of the alleged victim from social media and the babysitter matching service Sitter City. Stubblefield's attorneys argue that her job history and previous legal filings support their assertion that she was mentally competent enough to have to consent to sex. The papers include results from a third-party lie detector test that attorneys say Stubblefield passed, as well as phone records, they say, denote 22 text messages to him in which the alleged victim asked for a job and money. At first glance, the materials show limited reading and language comprehension by whoever wrote them, but they said it doesn't prove or disprove whether she could have been pretending to be diminished on her employment profile. Yeah, that's what you want. So
all a big ruse to set somebody up.
Yeah, that's the thing. About the calls and the texts, the director of Next Door Solutions to Domestic Violence said the assault is the assault, and it had nothing to do with how many texts or calls happened before or after. He had a gun. I mean, it kind of ends at that point. They said it doesn't matter. It doesn't negate that an assault happened. We need to focus on what happened between them in that room. And they said the defense called it all absolute nonsense and said the purpose of this news conference is not to flesh out everything that happened. That's what a jury trial is for. Now, SitterCity.com had to release a fucking statement here, obviously.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah, they said, hey, listen, it's fine. We're good. The company has things in place here. Yeah. And they said, also, Stubblefield and the nanny met through the site but failed to heed the first piece of advice on the site, which was meet for the first time in a public place. So, I mean, hey, not our fault. That's what they said.
She says that she dressed sexy, drunk,
Zumba
for where she works. What are you guys talking about? For where she went to school. You can't expect somebody to just know that. God damn it.
So under the heading, protecting yourself is just as important as keeping kids safe, the website advises sitters that before meeting a family, sitters should arrange to speak with them on the phone. If the conversation goes well, you can arrange for a more in-depth interview at a coffee shop, park, or another public place with other people around. It also urges sitters to recognize common scams, including the phrase, "I want to pay you up front." The website says that no legitimate employer will pay a sitter/nanny for work that they haven't done yet. They did say in 2012 there was another incident when a 22-year-old babysitter hired through the site was drugged and raped. So they're drugged and sexually assaulted, it says here. I don't know if it was rape or not. So either way. So just to legally clear myself in that one.
He could have just smacked her tits around. We don't know.
Yeah, well, that's assault, sexual assault.
That's definitely sexual assault.
So they still want the DAs to recuse themselves. His attorney said there's been press statements, there's been leaks of information, and all other types of conduct that have been used to prejudice this particular case. We feel this case now needs to be handled by an impartial body. So we're asking the Attorney General's office to be the prosecutor in this case so Mr. Stubblefield can get a fair hearing. There you go. They said, and the DA said if the DA's office were recused every time they did something like this, that would be brought up in every other case. You can't ask for recusal just because you don't like how your client is being treated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They said the judge can just issue a fucking no gag or a gag order, and then no one can say shit. That's what you can ask for. That's a lot easier. Then he also says about, this is the prosecutor talking about the defense attorneys, you can't claim that you don't like the publicity, but at the same time are holding press conferences. True.
Great point, yeah.
So he pleads not guilty. During this, in 2018, he goes in for a hearing. He pulls up in front of the court in his own car, parks. He's been free for over a year on $250,000 bail. But Superior Court Judge Paul Bernal ordered him taken into custody and jailed after the prosecutor formally added the allegation that he used a gun during the assault, which made it a no-bail case. Right. His lawyers characterized the move as sneaky and slimy, saying it caught them by surprise. They said they had expected him to be just held over. They said, though, the prosecutor said, bullshit. His lawyers were keenly aware of the likelihood that there could be a formal gun allegation. They have the discovery just like we have. They also said there's no way to know how Stubblefield has actually acted while on bail. And then he said, there's no doubt in my mind that he's a threat to public safety. Yeah. So he pleads not guilty to everything. He is put back in there. The defense says that they're seeking reinstatement of the bail, claiming they've discovered a 15-second video of this victim dancing in the nude available to paying customers on a porn website.
Okay.
This is they did the same shit with R. Kelly's victims. They were like, well, one time she made out with a boy at a dance, so she likes obviously having public sexual liaisons. That's literally like shit like that, what they were saying. It's fucking crazy.
And who's to say that when you buy that, where does that money go? Does it go to her? Does it go to somebody that has that video and leaked? Because weird dudes
Did somebody
do that
say,
weird
hey,
shit.
dance for me? Yeah, did they trick her into dancing and then put it up there? Yeah.
She's 32, but she's got fucking issues, and you can probably get that person to do things if you're quote-unquote dating her.
They said that since the preliminary examination, the defense has discovered compelling evidence that the complaining witness committed perjury. They also contend it's unlikely anyone else created the account because the site requires a 4-step process to sign up as a performer, including uploading a photo, identification, and linking to social media account. God, no one could possibly take a picture.
So she's got an OnlyFans. Yeah.
No one could take a picture and fucking get a link to her fucking Instagram. What are you kidding me?
Even if it's her, it's an OnlyFans, and that's safe. So who gives a shit?
The prosecutor said that the bail motion was a clumsy attempt at victim shaming, and they said normally a victim's sexual history is not allowed in a rape trial. This is odd. They said, quote, these guys are violating the rules of professional conduct, he said about Stubblefield's lawyers. Their claim is highly inflammatory, and there's a good chance it never enters the courtroom at trial. They also noted they consider to be other signs of her only handicap being a severe speech impediment. Here's Stubblefield's team here. She has a California driver's license with no restrictions and has held several jobs, including at Safeway and delivering restaurant takeout for DoorDash. Okay, well, there's no all you have to do is sign up for that. There's no interview for DoorDash. And I have seen people with, fucking issues bagging groceries at Safeway,
Yeah.
People, they hire people with Down syndrome to bag, and I'm not great, good for you. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's developmentally disabled. You know what I mean?
That person certainly cannot just be in control of themselves all day.
Yeah,
for
and they
the
can't
most
be
part.
Raped by an NFL player.
Yeah.
So a defense expert also once scored, testified that the woman once scored an 87 on an IQ test, but the prosecution notes that all the other IQ tests they have for her are 70. So her IQ is 70, which is just shy of Forrest Gump.
She did great once.
Yeah. And that's shaky. So,
and it's not consistent. So,
we'll go with don't go with the outlier. Go with the consistent. 70. I think. What was Gump? 71 was his IQ.
I don't remember.
Want to say?
Probably.
So, how do you? I mean, there you go. That's where we're at here.
And Jenny probably should be talked to about the sex she had with him.
Oh, absolutely. That should be a crime. Absolutely a crime. She 100% raped him. He had no idea what was going on.
Right.
He had no clue. He was like, did something come out of my penis? Like, he had no idea what was happening.
The look on his face said it all. That was rape.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. If if you change the fucking sexes in that scene, and the girl has that look on her face after, people be like, I am so uncomfortable right now. It wouldn't be an American classic that's on TBS every fucking 30 minutes, would it? No. It'd be a horrible rape film.
Yeah, if a free love dude in the 60s is just banging away and then has sex with her in her bed and then he dies of AIDS.
Oh, my God, man.
With intravenous drug use and sex orgies all the time.
What the fuck? So the judge here said that his impression and strong suspicion was that the woman is disabled based on, among other factors, her befuddlement in the face of some of the questions she was asked during her testimony in a hearing. He also said he found much of her testimony credible, though he noted that her testimony varied on the question of whether he threatened her with a gun, whether he threatened her or not, but he had one. But the judge does take an unusual step by reinstating bail for Dana Stubblefield.
What?
After his attorneys argued that the woman who accused him of raping her at gunpoint lied under oath when she denied ever working in the porn industry or receiving money for sex because she had a 15-second video of her dancing nude.
I didn't consider that porn because it's OnlyFans and in my bedroom
it's not
alone.
Really. Yeah, it's not produced. I didn't get to let a camera crew come over here.
There was nobody that said, and suck it.
And by the way, not one person paid for it. So literally no one has ever seen it.
Unbelievable.
It's the same as if she took it and kept it on her phone. It doesn't matter. So they set the bail at $500,000 and told him he has to wear an electronic monitoring device. Blah blah blah. So yeah, he claims that he claims not only was it consensual, so was the payment. Everything was consensual. He just said, "I'll give you $80 to fuck me and blow me."
The fucking balls.
It's fucking wild. The Stubblefield's lawyers argued that the woman's, quote, commercial sexual activity was legally relevant because it corroborated their client's claim that he paid for consensual sex. So, if you have a 15-second video on OnlyFans, that means that if somebody rapes you and then throws $80 on your chest, that's a financial
transaction.
Exactly. That's capitalism. That's what that means.
Welcome to America.
Wow.
That's you better pay taxes.
As a guy, that's disturbing.
It really is.
This doesn't affect me at all, and it's disturbing as balls, man, just to have that be a thing. That's just horrifying.
For that to be
an
argument in a court of law, they literally believe that to be, well, I don't know if they believe it to be. That's the only defense they've got, James.
Yeah.
What else are they going to say?
The prosecutor said again, normally you're not allowed to bring up victim sexual histories here. I don't get it. His wife, who, by the way, Dana and Terry, the Stubblefields have they're
reconciled.
They're reconciled. She said she comes back after the rape allegation. She believes he is, quote, absolutely innocent.
Oh, my God.
She said there's no denying they had sex, but he didn't rape her. He didn't have a gun. Dana is 300-something pounds. I don't think he needs a gun to hold down somebody at all. He's not that kind of person. He's a very sweet person. Yeah, okay. So the trials come out. Prosecutor said, I'm confident when you listen to her and hear all the evidence, you will find she did not have capacity to consent. And the defense obviously says the opposite. They said, quote, what is this case about? This case is about money for sex. That's what happened. She was desperate for money, went to the home for a job, and entered into a sexual relationship. So, now... the prosecutor said a person with an IQ of 70 who is capable of consenting under peaceful circumstances can be unable in highly stressful situations, even if you say maybe she was capable. Also, there's body cam footage that the prosecution plays from a Morgan Hill police officer's body camera during her initial interview, noting that she had trouble communicating and putting thoughts together clearly because she's got problems. But she was consistent about being sexually assaulted. He also cited that she received disability benefits, spent 20 years in special ed classes, and her text messages and online profiles exhibited the grammar of an early grade schooler.
Yes.
So, yeah, all that stuff here. The prosecutor said there was never any discussion about sex for money, ever. No means nothing to this defendant. Then another woman comes forward talking about 1996. Oh, yeah. A woman testified that Stubblefield sexually assaulted her in the back room of a bar/restaurant called Capitola, or in Capitola, in 1996, after she asked for his autograph and he led her there. He said, yeah, come over here.
Yeah.
The woman never reported the incident to police, said Stubblefield pinned her down on the ground and had his hands up her skirt and shirt when a busboy came into the room, at which point he stopped, cursed at her, and went back to the bar. So, the victim here testifies. They get her on the stand. She testifies for 5 days, this poor girl. She said that, they said, well, why'd you even go over there? They texted. And they said, why didn't you meet in a safe place? She thought Dana was a woman. Yeah. She said, I wasn't worried about that because I thought Dana was a woman. So I just assumed I was going to a woman's house. I thought I was meeting with the mom. She said Stubblefield threatened her with a small black gun and pulled her clothes down. She described it as, quote, nasty. She said she's 5'3" and skinny, by the way, just to let you know the lack of physical agency she has in this situation. She goes on to say, quote, I said I want to go. He said I kill you. He a bad man.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She then said, I was so scared. She described how he picked her up and put her on a bed. She said, I told him, let me go. I don't want sex. I don't want no money. I told him no many times. Mm-hmm. So the defense contends she's faking, Your Honor. This is all a speech impediment. That's literally what they're telling the jury. After she's up there for 5 days crying about being raped by a giant man sitting in the courtroom.
It's an act. You've got to. They have to, James.
What else?
He has to feel like such a piece of shit saying that out loud, but he's got to say that. He has no choice.
They brought his wife in there to say what a good guy he is. Yeah. They brought her. They found some of her relatives and coworkers saying that didn't like her to say that she was fine. She has no disabilities or anything.
Unreal.
So the verdict comes in. 8 men and 4 women on this jury here. Yeah. They come in and they find him guilty.
Yeah.
Of raping and forced oral copulation on the woman here. Mm-hmm. The jurors found that he is guilty of using a gun during the sexual assault.
Oh,
which,
boy.
Yeah, significantly increases his potential sentence. However, the jury rejected 2 other felony charges that Stubblefield exploited a woman who was mentally incapable of providing consent to sex, which was among the most egregious allegations made against him. They're saying,
yeah,
we don't hands off on what we think of her development,
okay.
But he definitely raped her.
Also, she did say no a bunch of times, so it maybe that proves that she can consent, but she's also not consenting and she's saying it. You know what I mean? So that
might
solidifies
be
rape
process.
For sure.
Yeah, or they could have been like split the difference type of thing. Juries are like that sometimes because it's a compromise sometimes. Yeah. Well, I think this and I think that. What if we do it this way? And the jurors go, fine, I'll vote for that. So
listen, rape and a gun. It doesn't matter what else we jam on there. He's staying for a long time.
He's remanded to jail after the verdict here, and there's that. He's behind plexiglass too because this is when COVID is starting. Yeah. So. The reactions, the prosecutor argued from the beginning of the case that she obviously was disabled. He said, quote, all of the power dynamic was clearly stacked in the defendant's favor. It was in his home. It was on his turf, his rules. He took advantage of her and clearly preyed upon her based on her level of disability and the fact that he had her alone and didn't think she'd be able to report, didn't think she would be understood, and didn't think she'd be able to leave, didn't think she'd be able to leave. The jury spoke otherwise. The defense attorney, on the other hand, didn't quite think that much. They were saying we're going to appeal it. The prosecutor also said, we thank the victim for her courage and resilience and for coming forward and saying what happened to her and saying enough is enough.
No doubt. She's a fucking hero.
She's fucking brave. And she even testified for 5 days. I mean,
unbelievable.
Now, the defense blames it on COVID. They said that the trial kept getting disrupted. So... yeah. Obviously, that's the problem. He said, we're very disappointed in the verdict. We're going to continue to fight. Mr. Stubblefield is resilient and a strong person who believes the system will work. Then the lawyer went on. Sawyer is this lawyer. He's an asshole. So we need Alan Sawyer, the lawyer. Uh-huh. He was critical of how he and the other defense attorney, Rosenfeld, were hampered in their defense when the judge precluded them from making many references and introducing some testimony referring to the victim's sexual history.
Good.
He's mad that they couldn't slut shame someone in a rape trial. That's what he's mad about. Like, he never saw the accused or anything. Like, what the fuck, bro? Shield laws prevent such testimony from being presented at a trial unless compelling evidence arises of an accuser's dishonesty of the whole thing. So his statement is, we should have been able to call her a bigger whore legally. Yeah. That's we would have been fine. So Stubblefield's attorney says it's littered with errors. It's ridiculous. He said, quote, they started the trial, then the pandemic hit. We already had a jury. The government got to present a lot of evidence, then they halted the trial for 2 months because of the pandemic. He said that after that, the jurors were anxious and distracted by possible COVID exposures, which led them to not pay attention, essentially.
They just want out of here.
It led to more delays. He said they started letting witnesses testify remotely. We weren't allowed to sit next to our client. We continually asked for a mistrial because it was not a fair environment because of the COVID circumstances. Yeah, but you're not the only guy who did that. Every single person who had a trial then had the same restriction. So it's not like, what the fuck? His requests for a mistrial were denied. Sentencing comes around.
Oh, boy.
October 23rd, 2020. So the district attorney says, quote, no meant nothing to this defendant. Based on his status, I think he was never held accountable for prior criminal behavior. Yes. Today, he was properly held accountable. We can say the same thing. Today, he was properly held accountable. Yeah. Alan Sawyer said the opposite. He says, we are as adamant as ever that Mr. Stubblefield is innocent. The jury says, or judge, whatever, you, sir, may fuck off 15 to life.
Unbelievable.
15 years to life he got.
Oh, man.
Based on his history, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. And he's gonna have his appeals and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way you get out of this. And dude, after 15 years, I hope they do not parole him. I hope they hang on to him for 25 at minimum.
He's going to be a danger because he's been doing it for this long. So, I mean, Christ almighty. He was doing it for 20 years at that point.
Yeah.
At least that we know of. Who knows what the fuck he was doing before that. So
asshole always.
Jesus Christ. Being a dick. Can't get enough of Dana Stubblefield.
Oh, man.
Check out Prison. He's in there. Enjoy that. Or you can go to Sitter City and if you're looking for a babysitter, Jesus Christ. Or you can get this gross and probably fake autograph of his on eBay for $30. It's a picture of him blowing through an offensive line, and it says Sears on it. Inside of Sears made the picture for some reason, and it's got him on there, and it's $30. Free shipping, so yay. I don't know about to Prison, though, if they'll ship free to there. Either way, that's Dana Stubblefield.
That is staggering. Absolutely staggering. I had no idea he did that.
We're into the pure scum now, where you can swirl it around a glass and go, that's pure scum. Look at how it coats the glass.
Look at it. It's got legs.
It coats it like chocolate milk. That's amazing.
What an asshole.
That is Dana Stubblefield. I'm pretty grossed out by it.
Thoroughly.
I had no idea he was such a big asshole.
Yeah.
I heard a few years ago about the rape thing. I'm like, really? And then I didn't know it was a conviction and all that. I must have missed it all. I don't know how, but people sent us stuff, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's still got that going on. But, man, he's a mess. So if you like that story, if you like the way we told that story, no one should like that story. But
it's awful.
If you like the way we told it, head over to wherever the fuck you're listening to this, whatever app, whatever platform, and find a place to review it and give us 5 stars.
Yeah, say Jenny's a rapist.
Say, that's all. Say something nice. Say, he's a rapist, and there you go.
Jenny's a rapist.
Yep, Jenny's a rapist.
Forrest was raped. Justice
Brutally.
for Forrest.
And then have a picture of that face he made with it. So do that. Head over there. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Also, follow us on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. And in addition to that, you certainly want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can get everything for Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, including tickets to live shows. Yeah. There's even a Crime and Sports with tickets available, Sacramento in August, Ace of Spades. Yes. So buy those up. We don't want to hear you complaining that there's no live Crime and Sports when there is one with fucking half the tickets sold when the Small Town Murder on the same night is sold out and has been since day one. So don't complain. Anyway, get those tickets. That's how we sell tickets. Hey, fucker, quit bitching. Buy our tickets. That's
fuck you. Buy a ticket.
Fuck you. Buy these tickets, you asshole. That's how we. That's how we pitch, everybody, and it works. We move tickets. We're sold out all over the country. So come on out. Anyway, do all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is wild stuff this week.
Boy,
we have number one. Anybody over the $5 level you get access to, or $5 or above, you get access to Crime and Sports' Small Town Murders bonuses, the whole back catalog.
Whole damn thing.
This week, amazing stuff for a special April Fool's Day episode, because it's going to come out Saturday right after that.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about one of the better April Fool's jokes ever played in the history of sports, where they made the whole sports world believe, from an article in Sports Illustrated, it was George Plimpton that did it, they asked him to, that there was a man somewhere in the mountains who threw 120 miles an hour and he signed with the Mets. And he's never, like, he pitches with no shoes on and, like, the whole fucking thing. It's amazing. And people bought it lock, stock, and barrel. It was amazing. He was the rage of the sports world, hottest thing going.
Nobody put it together.
Nobody. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about one of the most despicable people I've ever seen in my life. A woman named Diane Downs. If you've heard the name, it's because she shot her kids and then pretended some guy tried to take the car from her, but she valiantly tried to fight him off and then got away in the car and all this shit. The story is ridiculous, and the way she tells it is like, how can you be serious right now?
An harrowing tale of obvious bullshit.
We're going to concentrate a lot on the Oprah appearance she made in like 1990 with Ann Rule, the true crime writer who wrote a book about her, where she argues with Ann Rule about court documents that Ann Rule has read and fucking copied exactly. It's ridiculous shit. You got to hear it.
Bundy's ex-coworker, right?
Yes, exactly. That Ann Rule. We'll get to all that and more. It's going to be so much fun. Patreon.com/crime in sports. And you will get a shout out here, which we're going to get to. And if you just want the shout out and great karma, no problem there. Just head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. That said, damn it, Jimmy, I need the list of the most wonderful people who would never, ever do any of the things that Dana Stubblefield has done in his entire fucking life. Jimmy, hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are Michelle Hansen, Cody Leversey in Michigan. Can't wait to see you, bud. Franny in London, Jordan Bennett, Colleen Miller, Francesco Danino, Kimberly Altausi, Daniel Blackwell, and Nicole O'Clair. Thank you guys. Truly, bottom of our hearts stuff.
Holy shit.
You get the point.
Amazing people.
Truly. Other producers this week are the Twisted Mayor Mohair. Spalding Smales is in Caddyshack. That was the movie he was in. He ate boogers.
There you go. Thank you.
God, I hate saying those words. Larry Butterfast is in surgery this week. Hang in there, Larry. It's over his foot, so I don't know what exactly he's doing. Yeah, he's not. Might be getting a new foot.
Let's hope you don't throw a clot, pal. Let's do it.
Peyton Meadows, Olive Tits, me too. Thomas Smith, Jeff Shrewsbury, James Martyr, Buck Russell, Tarnia Goodsel's Success, and Rob Wilson's new glasses. Joey Pepperoni Nips got a new mortgage. Brand new mortgage.
He got a mortgage.
Shiny new smelly one. Catherine Collado, Happy Hour checking in Austin, Texas this week. Laura in Portland. Her boyfriend, YL, has been sitting on a relationship with her for 6 years. What the fuck, YL?
Damn. Shit, dude.
Figure it out, man. Marry the woman.
Step up. We'll do it for you.
Stop with the free poon and
we'll
pay
ask.
up. Pay up.
Yeah, let's go,
Michelle Salazar, Rabbi Shitstein, Gwendolyn Steele, Susanna Platt, Janice
The
Hill.
lease has come due. Sorry.
Davey loves gravy. Frank, the South African birdwasher. Dixon Cider. Are you proud of yourself? You son
you
of
happy
a
now?
bitch.
Hey,
Judy Squatley, Jess Finch's mom, Dawn, is having a birthday. Happy birthday, Dawn. JJ's Bizarre Crime Adventures, Jason Bateman's. Nope, Batman's. Oh, that's Batman. What the fuck? I wrote it.
Bateman. Oh, Batman. Oh, it's Batman. So when you see there's a new Batman movie, you're like, oh, there's a new Bateman movie.
Oh, look,
cool.
Jason Bateman's got a new movie.
Jason Bateman's got a self-titled coming out. Good for him.
Well, biopic. Jason Batman's Pocket Robin Forrest. That's what it is.
God damn it, I love it.
Shailene Moet, Alex Presley, Hannah Quinn, Jonathan Borden, Kevin Arrington, Carla Fowler, Tina Whiting, Andrea Quiroz, Christopher Moen, Roy Silvies. Listen, he put Batman after Jason and expected me to say Batman? It's never happening. Every time it's Jason Bateman.
I can't breathe.
Somebody shine the Bateman light.
This is my favorite shout out of all time. He comes, hey guys, what's going on? Job, God damn it, Jesus.
Riley DeHia, Martin Allman, Audrey Stepp, Morgan Smith, Maria Angel Diaz, Jana Pochop, Christian Skeet, that's an unfortunate one, Amy Lux, Jesse, nope, that's Jess Bruin, William with no last name, Harrison Schaefer, Patty McCleskey, Katrina, yes, Susan Wathen, Tyler Summers, Richard Wilkinson, Kim the head bitch in charge, Gilbert Contreras, Demon Hand 55, Jennifer Lincoln, Liam Pringle, yep, Matt Hilligans, Jackson with no last name, Marissa with no last name, William L. Martin Jr., Monica Mars, TJT, Janelle Mazzara Johnson, Spencer Morgan, Stephanie Dahlman, Carrie Countryman, Mark Albert, what? Wait, what's his name? Alberts. Marv.
Alberts?
God damn
Marv
it.
Albert.
It's
yeah.
Mark. All right.
Is it? You mean Batman? Is that who you're talking about on there? Is that Batman chiming up, or is it? Okay.
Jen Wayne Jiren, Jen with no last name, Hunter Johnson, Margaret Martins, Brian Bagg, Lynn Milroy, Corey Hockenberry, Farron Lammers, Kelsey Booth, Ab Will, Alexander McKeever Wilcoxon, Hillary Jorgensen, Michael Flanagan, Full Send 912, Midnight with no last name, Aaron Finneran, Jen Laundry, Jennifer Diaz, Lucas Salas, Susie Burrows, Jedediah Marquise Wu, Cody Walker, Cindy Cummings, Brutal Butt Slap, Demi Bones Lindbergh, Ashley Lundy, Tanya Simmons, Bailey Gerard, Emily Matthews, Kaylee Esper, Emily Nix, Alex Gage, Mike Mast, Joel Adams, Corey Celeste, Breton Hurd, Jesus, and Antigone Azrael, fucking what? Antigone, Alina Mollett, Matthew Ryan, Greg Hickson, Sean McNeil, Caroline Britton, Colton Bearden, Stephanie Lynn, Janelle Tamale, Josh Wood, Dana Jatch.
I'm James Bill Parmesan. Nice to meet you.
The Ear Rape Prevention Hotline, Christina Gogan, Grant Carter, Georgia, the Athletic Bruco, from Athletic Bruco, Raymond Castellan, Paige Williams, Jason Pixler, Elisa Montoya Darling, Katie Gwynn, Travis James, James, Ryan Lally, Anthony Larson, Holly Bowen, Bad Attitude, Rebecca Feldman, T.C. Williams, Martina Martin, Sun V, DJ Teitzel, Shanna Graziano, Darby Davis, Adrian Solano, Ethan with no last name, Janae Young, Will with no last name, Raina Kennedy, Christy Arrington, Kennedy.
Oh my God. You know, President Kennedy, he was one of my favorites. It was a real shame what happened to him. I tell you what.
really takes all the achievement from him when you say John F. Kennedy.
John Kennedy. I don't think he's getting elected with Kennedy as his last name. I got to be honest. I don't think Monroe's fucking him either. I don't know about the Kennedy brothers. They don't sound too hot anymore.
I think the Kennedys lose.
They sound Italian at that point, like they're the Kennedys.
They really do.
Like from Greece.
Christy Arrington, Ryan Wisenant, Shannon Jones, Kelly with no last name, Thomas B. Horing, Jesse Wallace, Geneva Reimer, Jake Martin, Jody H., Susan Staub, Madison Walgamuth, Kristen Chambliss, Lois Sandsborn, Donna Smalley, Lana Brown, Deb Tidwell, Shelby Page, Callie Childress, Nikki Marie, Whitney Chandler, Aaron Duncan, Rowan with no last name, Big Puddin' 69, of course it's 69, Amanda Dominguez, Rory Corey Hamilton, Daniel Doyle, Andy Newman, Josh McKeever, Patricia Bethune, Jonathan Gian, Heather Yeager, David Matthews, Jacob Hughes, Elizabeth Valen, Betsy Malding, Trevor Pentland, Carrie Lawrence, Jackson Akins, Eileen Woodington Scoggins, Taylor Shane Williams, Amy Aronson, Janessa, Tyler Basir, Hayden Smith, Sawyer Chefs, Stuart Collings, Jacob Weiss, Justin Plades, Tommy Lee, probably not, Jessica Ziziska,
Sure it does.
Julie, it's got to. He loves drumming. Listening to this bullshit.
You know he's going to do it. He's totally doing it.
Julie Zager, Corey Young, SB, Susan Gundlach, boy oh boy, Ezra Taha, Eric Barnes, Keely Urbanski, Anna Bandit, Julian Boylan, Diego Ramirez, and all of our patrons. You guys, especially the Canettis, are amazing.
Thank you, everybody. You wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much for what you do for us. We really do appreciate it. We're pretty easy to find out there. If you want to find us, Crime and Sports hosts. And it still should be just us in case anybody's trying to steal it this week. Who knows? But who
knows? It could be another couple. Whatever.
Who knows? Shutupandgivememurder.com. You can find everything from there. Find us, follow us on social media, do it up, and keep coming back live from the Crime and Sports studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.